You are now connected to the ultimate podcast for action figure collectors. Hosted by your favorite YouTube action figure reviewers, Sean Long, Pixel Dan, and Shartimus Prime. Entertainment News International brings you The Collector Connection.
What's up?
Hola.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Collector Connection. It's our inaugural episode, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. My name is Pixel Dan.
What up, big kids? I'm Sean Long.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Shartimus Prime.
Hey, it's JC with T&I.
And this is the very first episode of the Collector Connection. It's the first podcast where three of your very well-known, very familiar toy reviewers all come together with our buddy JC from Toy News International, and we've got a special guest on today's show. But let me explain what this podcast is all about. Basically, once a month, we're going to get together along with a special guest from the toy industry to give you guys an inside look at what goes on behind the scenes of all of our favorite toy lines. To kick things off, we've got a very special guest. This man is part of the team that produces some very well-known figures for Mattel, as well as some amazing action figures of their very own design. From Horsemen Design, please welcome Eric Cornboy Mays to the show. Welcome to the show, CB.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Hey, everybody.
So how's things going in Horsemen Design land?
Very busy right now, which is a good thing. Things got kind of scary there over the last couple of weeks where we were worrying about whether the subscriptions were going to go through or not. One of them did, one of them didn't, and still keeping very busy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that a little bit more here in just a bit, because I know that's like a hot-button question right now, or a hot-button topic with those subscriptions just ending. But why don't we go ahead and jump all the way back to the beginning, first and foremost. For anybody that may not be familiar with you or Horsemen Design, maybe you can kind of give us just a really quick kind of rundown of how the team came together. How did Horsemen Design get formed?
Well, myself and the other guys worked at McFarlane Toys initially, and we had worked there for a few years together, and we had kind of formed a pretty good bond and became a really good team just amongst ourselves. And at one point, McFarlane Toys was moving in a slightly different direction than we wanted to go. We were really into making toys, action figures, things you could actually play with. And they were moving more into statuesque kind of figures and military-based figures, sports figures, things like that we just really had no interest in. Plus, one year, Todd McFarlane bought the Mark McGuire baseball for $3 million.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That Christmas, none of us got Christmas bonuses because the company didn't make any money that year for some strange reason.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of just, it's kind of a joke. It's not really true, but it's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. So we decided to leave and start our own thing, and we had gotten in touch with some people at Mattel, and they had just happened to be looking for a design team that could do work for them outside the company, so we could kind of cut through some of the red tape without having to really fight the powers that be. You know, they could hand us off projects, they do this, and then we could bring it back to them done. It wouldn't have to have a million eyes looking over it, and that's kind of what we wanted to specialize in. And when we met them, we all had kind of the same ideas of what we wanted to do. I mean, the first thing we said, well, they said, well, what do you want to do if you start doing work with us? And I said, well, I think it was myself or Eric or somebody spoke up. The first thing we want to do is we want to revamp and relaunch He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. That property's been gone for far too long. And they said, that's exactly what we were thinking. So we immediately, I mean, I know it took 2 years before the public actually saw it, but in 1999, we immediately went to work on the new version of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, doing design work and doing rough sculptures and rough fabrication and everything to show Mattel. And we went back and forth with that for over a year before it finally debuted at Comic-Con almost 2 years after we started it. But and that's what happened. And one day, Mattel needed to pay us for the work that we were doing, and we didn't really have a company name. And they said, well, what are you guys going to call yourselves? And we just said, Four Horsemen sounds good, I guess.
And that's how it came together.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I was going to ask, landing a job with Mattel is pretty big. Starting work on the 2000X Masters Universe line, what other jobs did you do for them?
Well, we like I said, we initially kind of started right into the Masters of the Universe stuff, but it was all concept work and preliminary work. It was nothing really solid yet. So in the meantime, Mattel had us doing work on the Harry Potter line that they'd just gotten. They actually had us do parts for the pitch, do figures for the pitch for the Harry Potter line, and they won it from Warner Brothers. So we started doing figures for that, and they also had us doing some little Hot Wheels play sets, which never saw the light of day, although they were really cool.
Aww.
And just a few other little projects. There's a few other projects we did in the meantime that we're not really still allowed to talk about, but even through all of that, Masters of the Universe was our main focus from the beginning.
Huh.
Excellent.
I have a question. So yeah, working on the 2002 relaunch of the Mattel figures kind of sort of made the Four Horsemen a household name among collectors. I don't know if you know this, but you guys are famous. You know? So like, how does that feel to be famous in this industry? I mean, you guys are extremely well known.
Well, my son put it in perspective for me one time, and he's kind of a smart ass, but I love him to death. But he said that, well, Dad, I was showing him online. I said, look, son, I said, there's people that are doing interviews with us in magazines, and I said there are people that are interviewing us online, and people are actually interested in what we're doing. I said, Dad, you're like the king of a leper colony. You're making toys for action figure and toy geeks. I was like, son, I'm an action figure toy geek. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But, he's kind of right. I mean, these people are our people, and it kind of seems weird to me that people that people want our autograph, and that people that we're whatever you want to call it, famous or whatever, because that's exactly what we are. We're toy geeks. We're action figure collectors. We're comic book nerds, and this is what we grew up on. This is what we always loved, and we lucked into a job, and we get to go to work and play with toys every day, and I don't know, I wouldn't call us famous. I mean, I guess we're known, but famous, I don't know about that. We're just lucky guys that just got lucked into a good job. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you guys are like niche celebrities, kind of. Famous would be someone like Ben Affleck or somebody like that.
Bring that name up.
Don't mention him. Why did you mention him? Why?
I know. Sean asked me not to. But within this whole industry, you guys are incredibly well known. You are household names.
Well, we're definitely. I mean, we're thankful for all the accolades we get. We're humbled that people appreciate what we do, and what more could you ask for in life? That you do something that you love to do, and you're real happy with the results, and then other people are just as happy or even more so than you are. I mean, if I could do this and not get paid for it and survive, I would. I don't even need a paycheck other than I have to survive. I would do it for free. I just love doing it so much.
That's awesome, man.
So it comes through in the work, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can see it.
You love it, man.
You get a job doing something you love. You never have to work a day in your life, right? That's
well, that's what you say. I don't know. We were pretty.
I think that's a lot. I think that's a great. I heard a podcast with Greg Capullo, the artist, and he was saying that whole thing with if you're doing what you love for a living and you don't work a day in the life is complete crap. He's like, it's just not as bad.
Yeah.
It's
work, but you still, it's not as bad. Yeah.
I started out as a machinist. At least I'm not pumping gas anymore. At least I'm not running I still run lathes at the studio, but at least I'm not doing every day for 10 hours a day, for nothing pay. And the results that come out aren't car parts or parts for a military vehicle. It's awesome action figures. So I love what I do.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It's a blessing, to be sure.
We'll go ahead and jump into the subscription talk then, since that was brought up at the beginning. So, flash forward to today. You're still working for Mattel. You're still producing Masters of the Universe figures. But you also got to work on, like, the DC Universe Classics line and all the cool DC stuff that Mattel's been doing. And we just got through that subscription period, and we just found out that one of the lines made it and one of the lines didn't, like you said. So why don't you go and tell us kind of your feelings on how this whole thing went and how you feel about the discontinuation of the DC Universe Classics line?
Well, I mean, obviously, first and foremost, we're horribly disappointed that it didn't pass muster this time again. But it's had a really good long run. I mean, if you go all the way back to the Batman and Superman stuff that we originally started doing with Mattel, there's a lot of figures in that line that still fit well within the DC Universe Classics. You don't really need to swap them out that much. But, you know, we got to do some crazy, obscure characters that I don't think anybody would ever thought would see the light of day.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I think it was a successful line, and it was a blast to work on. Everything runs its course. I think that it got a lot longer life than some lines that, you know, some people might have thought should have went longer. I mean, it had a good long run, and we're really bummed out that it's gone. But that doesn't mean that we're not still going to be doing DC stuff. It's not going to be exactly the same, and they're going to go about a little bit different method of approaching it. But DC is not dead. The current incarnation is stalled out. We don't know if, you know, there was talk about possibly doing some like limited releases and exclusives and stuff here and there. We don't know if that's actually ever going to happen, but there was talk about it. So it may not be completely 100% dead in the dust, but yeah, for now it seems to be pretty well done, and we're going to have to move on and find the next incarnation of DC with Mattel, and hopefully they'll keep us fully involved with it as they have with the DC stuff. But we couldn't be more proud and happy that we got to do what we did on that line, because, I mean, I've said this a million times about the stuff that we do, and it's like a dream come true. And especially with like DC stuff, I grew up on comic books, especially Marvel, but a lot of DC stuff as well. And I know that Eric has a table still at his mom and dad's house that if you crawl up underneath that table, you can see when he was a little kid, he laid on his back up underneath that table and drew pictures of He-Man and Batman and Superman. And it's drawn on the bottom of the table, and his mom still has that table. And we've lived with this stuff from our childhood, and to get the honor of even being able to put our hands on it and leaving our mark on this line and being able to take it as far as we did, I mean, we outpaced superpowers. Who would have ever thought that was possible?
That's great.
Yeah.
And we're so proud of that line, and it is a bummer that it's gone, but I mean, or at least gone in its current incarnation. But
is it pretty safe to assume that there's probably some awesome Horsemen sculpts that may never even see the light of day because of the cancellation?
You know what? There are definitely some figures that we sculpted that I don't recall if they showed all of those at San Diego or not. We just wrapped up a couple of figures. Yeah, you know what? There are actually. There's probably 2 or 3. I would think they'll never see the light of day. They may at some point, or they may even find a way to sell them at some point. But now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, there's at least 2 or 3 that were finished after the stuff that they showed at Comic-Con. So.
Oh, man, that is heartbreaking. I hope they find a way to get those out.
I know.
Well, one of the most heartbreaking things to me is Doomsday.
Oh,
yeah. The
Doomsday figures, because they are massive, and they just are. Eric sculpted, and he just did such an amazing job on it. It was such a beautiful figure. I mean, he put so much love into the first one that he did back in the Superman line, and to get to come back and kind of touch on that again and really do it justice, it just turned out spectacular. And to think that thing may never get released, that's really a heartbreaker.
I hope they make that like a Comic-Con exclusive or something.
Yeah,
I
know.
Find some way to get that out. And, you know, I like both versions. I like the containment suit version and the Unleashed version.
Make it two-pack, man.
Oh, man, they look incredible.
Do like a 3-pack. Do like some sort of a battle-damaged Superman along with both.
I love that.
And make it like a Comic-Con exclusive. I bet they'd sell those like hotcakes.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
One thing I've been actually really curious about is the whole thing with not all of the characters being announced. Is that something that you guys thought through, or did Mattel plan that out? And I was kind of curious if you thought that kind of hurt the line a little bit.
Well, that's all. I mean, that's Mattel marketing strategy. We really don't have any say over any of that whatsoever. I mean, and I understand the reason that they have to do it. It's partially because Mattel is such a large company, and what happens if they show a figure and then realize that it can't be made for one reason or another, and then they will just get attacked. You know, that's part of the
like the Damian Wayne thing that happened there. I remember they were citing that as a problem.
Well, that's somewhat of a minor problem. I mean, it's a problem, but it's you know, admittedly somewhat of a minor problem, but it is a problem. But there's also a lot of other legalities they have to go through, and to show things too early, they can't do it.
See, I'm my big thing is Marvel Legends, but if I had so for somebody like me that just cherry picks, because I do have a decent amount of DC UC figures, but that I feel like that's something that could actually help more than done any damage. But yeah, if you're talking about the logistics of the legalities of it, I guess they couldn't avoid it.
Yeah, that's probably 90% of the reason that they do it that way.
Hey, are you guys going to be working on the new DC lines from Mattel, the Multiverse 4-inch and the Total Heroes figures they introduced at San Diego?
I'm not sure that we're allowed to discuss that yet.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right or not, or whether we're doing any kind of work on it right now or not, I don't think we're allowed to discuss that right now.
Definitely. Well, on a happier note, though, Masters Universe Classics reached the middle. Woo! I'm very happy. I've been
party the next day.
Yeah. How do you feel about the success of the line thus far? Do you have a lot to be excited for? Do you envision the line making it through 2015 and being complete?
Yes and no, because I think that it's going to go farther than 2015. I mean, I know.
Yeah? I like it.
People are saying, well, I mean, how can it not? I mean, they were afraid that it wasn't going to pass this time, but it did 114%? Is that what it was? Or
15?
Yeah.
115.
That's crazy, and that's the best it's ever done. And they had no idea it was going to happen. It didn't look like it was going to happen halfway through it, and
never lose faith.
I mean, I've got hopes that we'll be going even farther than 2015, but you never know. But yeah, actually, with what we've seen that's been planned through 2014 and 2015, I think people are going to end up very, very, even if 2015 is the end of it, I think people are going to end up being very, very satisfied and very content with the collection of Masters of the Universe figures they have.
Oh,
I'm so excited right now.
Okay.
You will see.
Completely hypothetical question, but if you were a gambling man, what would you say are the percentages that we would ever see a Snake Mountain playset to go along with the House?
Love that.
Wow, I'd say at least right now that's probably kind of a low percentage. I mean, the Castle Grayskull did pretty well for them, and you never know if 2015, if things go as well as they did, on the pre-order for 2014, you never know. I always say never. But as it looks right now, it's probably not going to happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll rally up the troops for that then.
So
yeah,
hopefully we get that full battle ram at some point. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh man.
Me too.
You guys have been dangling that over our heads since 2010 or 2011 when you guys showed that thing.
That was 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
That was never an official thing. That was something we put together and presented to Mattel and said, "Can we do this? That we should do this." And they were like, "Yeah, let's try to do it." So I mean, they really did try to budget it in and figure out where it was going to fit in the line and everything, and they tried all they could. And at this point, it looks like the Sky Sled is going to be the only release, if anything, is released from it. But
yeah,
who knows?
Well, I'm happy we're at least getting the Sky Sled. It was such an important vehicle in the cartoon and everything, anyway. Yeah. So it's cool to at least get that piece of it. But I'm still hoping, man. I want the whole thing.
It was strange because you guys showed. I know you guys showed the Battle Ram off on your own, but then the next year, then we got the Wind Raider instead of the Battle Ram. What is there any why there was a decision to do the Wind Raider before the Battle Ram, or?
Well, I think it was because, like I said, when we showed the Battle Ram, that was just us bringing Mattel, and Mattel liked it and said, yeah, if you guys want to throw it up in your booth and show it off, go ahead, which was really, really cool of them. I mean, I don't know why they let us do that, but they did. They've been really gracious with us about stuff like that. And so then they decided to go ahead and try vehicles because they got a good response from that. They wanted to try it with a vehicle that was a little bit lower price point than the Battle Ram. The Battle Ram would be a really expensive vehicle for them to produce and to ship. So they tried it with the Wind Raider first just to see how it would go because, you know, they haven't done vehicles in I don't know how many years. And so they wanted to try it out and just test it and see if it was going to be monetarily feasible to do something as large as Battle Ram. So that's essentially why they did the Wind Raider first.
And it was such an awesome, awesome piece, but it just didn't seem to sell the way they were hoping it would.
I got two.
Yeah, that's awesome. But they sat around for a while. Like, it took them a long time to sell out of them. So
yeah, I was surprised. I really love that vehicle. I think it's fantastic.
I do too.
It's amazing. You guys did an amazing job on it.
Thank you.
Well, now let's talk about some of the stuff Four Horsemen Design produces on their own, huh?
Okay.
So you guys have picked up some of your own licensed properties the past few years. First was the Outer Spaceman, one created by and produced by Colorforms originally back in the 60s. What has it been like to create brand new versions of these classic action figures?
Well, the Outer Spaceman was kind of a strange thing because when Eric and I were talking about it, we didn't even realize it, like when we first found out it was an action figure line, neither of us knew it was really a legitimate action figure line. I had two of them when I was a kid growing up, and I bought them at two separate garage sales at two different times, and I never even realized at the time that those two figures even went together in a line. They were just these cool bendy figures, and in the 70s and 80s, there were a lot of cool little bendy figures around. And then Eric had a puzzle. It was an Outer Spaceman puzzle that he put together, and it had all these cool figures on there, but he didn't realize that those were actually action figures that you could buy at one point. So we were talking about it a few years later, and after we'd been in Four Horsemen for a while, and, you know, just doing the geek talk, sitting around talking about old toys and stuff. And I told him about these two toys that I had, and he's like, wait a minute, I had a puzzle that had that stuff on it. We started looking online and found the Outer Spaceman, and neither one of us even knew it was an action figure line at all until that point. So we started looking it up and geeking out and realizing that they were really expensive and hard to get a hold of now. And I said, when we just said, great, wouldn't it be awesome if we could put this line together someday and actually bring this line back? And we were kind of joking around that it would never happen, you know, because it was such an obscure line from the late 60s. So we were at Comic-Con one year, and a guy had a booth up of Outer Spacemen stuff, and we started talking to him, and he put us kind of inadvertently in connection with Mel Burnkrant, the original creator of the Outer Spacemen, and we just kind of hit it off and decided to do it. And you know what? It's like I keep saying, it's a dream come true. We keep kind of like tripping over stuff and falling into it and getting lucky, and now we get to bring back a toy line that both of us, none of us at Four Horsemen Studios even realized was a toy line in the 60s until a few years ago, and we just instantly fell madly in love with it, and now we get to bring it back and release it. We just released the alpha phase of the latest 6 figures at San Diego Comic-Con. That's like a clear-colored San Diego exclusive version, and we're right now putting together the exclusives for New York Comic-Con and the holiday editions.
Nice.
We've got, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 characters, I think, now?
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome little collection, let me tell you. I love those little guys. You guys, like, it's really cool because not only did you kind of, like, rediscover them yourselves, but you totally introduced that property to, like, a whole new generation of people like me.
Yeah, because we also had a bunch of people coming up to us, like, when we were showing them off at various conventions, and pointing at like one particular figure in the booth, in the case, and saying, "Hey, I remember that. I remember that figure. I had that one figure when I was a kid." Just like me, I had those two figures, and until years and years later, didn't even realize they were part of the same line. And we had a lot of people coming up going, oh, I remember that guy. Or somebody saying that, oh, my brother had a couple of these guys. I remember these, and it's crazy that not only and a bunch of people coming up that were nostalgic fans of the line that saw it and were just ecstatic that we were bringing it back. But we had brand new fans who had never heard of it, just thought it was a really cool looking, weird, freaky line.
Oh, man. Yeah, they got that cool retro science fiction look is just so appealing, It's really neat. It's cool, too, because for anybody that's not familiar with those figures at all, basically they were a line of aliens that were meant to fit in with Mattel's Major Matt Mason line, which was a really big brand for Mattel in the 60s. So that's kind of a fun connection, too, that you're producing like these figures that were meant to fit in with a Mattel property.
Or you can go to the store horsemen.com and you can see pictures of them there, too.
That's true.
Horsemen.com. There's a new guy, Jack Asteroid, who's like our Earth version of Outer Spaceman. I guess he's kind of a nod to Major Matt Mason. He's not a direct rip-off or anything, but he's just a human Earthling astronaut. It's like kind of like an homage to Major Matt Mason.
Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, and so that's the other thing. You're creating your own Outer Spacemen now. You've gotten to a point where you're making your own characters.
Well, we're not making them. Actually, Mel Burnkrant, we're working directly with the original creator of the Outer Spacemen from the 60s. And he's coming in, and not only is he coming up with these ideas and the names, the quirky names for the characters. There's the Earth female's name is Terra Firma, and then the Earth male's name is Jack Asteroid. But he's doing all the designs on them and everything, and his design work isn't like just doing a quick sketch. It's these beautifully elaborate, like shaded pencil drawings and complete turnarounds and real elaborate, like broken down. Like if he draws out a weapon or a backpack accessory or something, it's like broken down and like it's incredible. I mean, the guy is, he's a senior citizen and he's still cranking out amazing work and working in the toy industry. He's really a legend to behold.
So it sounds like he's really excited about you guys working on this thing. That's got to be awesome for him, huh?
Yeah. I'm sure he's got to be over the moon that this property that lay dormant for since the 60s is now back out on the market again, and people can get them and play with them. And that's another thing. I mean, we wanted to make these not just classic representations of the original figures where they had the wires and they were bendy and rubber. So we went with a different, like a play pattern with them. And you can like tear them apart and put them back together and reconfigure them into different shapes, and you can put them together with other action figure lines. It's a really fun, cool, playable retro toy.
The Glyos system, for anybody out there that might be familiar with it, that's what you guys are using for the Outer Spacemen.
Yes, sir, we are. It's Matt Dowdy's brainchild, the owner of Onell Designs. The Glyos system is a system of it's a plug-and-play system is kind of what we've been referring to it as. I don't know what Matt's actual term for it is, but it's all the joints on the figures, you can pop them apart and put them back together, and they just lock in nice and tight. All the figures aren't loose and floppy at all, and all the joints, where the head connects, where the shoulders connect, where the hips, the ankles, all that stuff, it all comes apart, and you can tear one 3 3/4 figure down into about 30 pieces, and then you can rebuild it into other things. And you can take the Glyos figures, or there's other action figure lines out there now that also use the Glyos play system, and you can combine them with those. And our other line that we've got coming up, the Power Lords, is going to have some Glyos compatibility as well.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask. Now that you got Power Lords, which was produced by Rebel in the 80s, what brought you to get this particular property, Power Lords?
It was just that's one that Eric has talked about since I first met him, I think that action figure line was like one of his first loves. He has always talked about how much he loved that figure line, but it was so far ahead of his time, and that mothers who saw it were just too freaked out by the weird characters in that line. Take off. They didn't buy them for their kids or anything. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that he loved it so much. And he just used to go on and on and on about this line. And we were looking at it. It was another thing like with the Outer Spacemen that we said, it'd be great if we could ever bring that back to action figure form. And our original plan, if we ever did it, was to do maybe like 6-inch scaled, like super highly detailed, highly articulated figures. But when time came that we actually started talking about this being a possibility, we said, you know what? They would actually be spectacular as little 3 3/4 inch figures, and we can use the Glyos compatibility with them. But we're even going a step farther with that. And not only do they have Glyos joints where you can like tear them apart and put them back together, but they also have insert ball and socket joints in like the shoulders and like their elbows and their knees and stuff. So they've got a lot of, they're very highly articulated little figures that you can also tear apart and mix and match with your Outer Spacemen, with your Glyos figures or any other of the figures that have the Glyos compatibility. But we just it was another thing where we said, we want to do that someday, and we found out, Eric knew that Wayne Barlow, who is I guess he's most famous for doing creature designs in the movie industry. Most recently, or at least most recently that I think he's allowed to talk about, he did all the creature designs for Pacific Rim, those big, horrible monsters that were beating the crap out of the robots.
Kaiju!
Yeah, the Kaiju. Those are all Wayne Barlow designs, and it's beautiful stuff. And we found out, Eric already knew it, but he told us that Wayne Barlow was the original designer on the Power Lords. So we found out that Wayne Barlow lives right here in New Jersey, not even an hour away from us.
Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey. And we got in contact with him, and
Sean, you're from California.
No, Kevin Smith and all the crew. Anyway.
Oh, okay. All right, go on. Well, you're from California. What do you get?
I have family. My brother and sister live in New Jersey. That's why I also said that too.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I actually love Jersey. I hated it when we first moved here, but now I love Jersey now. It's much different in certain areas than people think it is. I mean, I live on a little farm with sheep and goats, out in the middle of nowhere. So
it's not the Jersey Shore, by the way. Don't.
No, not at all.
No Snickers.
I forgot where I was on. Oh, the Power Lord stuff. Wayne Barlow lived right here in Jersey, so we contacted him, and he said that he didn't own the license to those figures, but he still owned all the design drawings and everything from it. So we finally got in contact with the people who owned the license and talked with them, and they were very willing and very gracious to us about relaunching the line and taking a very, very minimal cut of the pay, if we made any money from it. And we got Wayne Barlow on board, and now he's letting us use his original design drawings to design these figures. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. He's another guy that he's been one of my idols growing up. Wayne Barlow's Guide to Extraterrestrials is like one of my holy Bibles, and the guys in the studio are also huge fans of that book. And just to meet him and realize what just a great down to earth dude he is, and how willing he is just to help us out with this line and let us use any of his artwork that we want to. Once again, we got lucky, tripped, and fell over into it because it's another blessing. We just can't be thankful enough for what we're able to do here.
So do you guys think that this will be a license that you can maybe expand outside of just action figures, like comic books and cartoons or something? I mean, because I was amazed when I was at your event at Toy Fair this past year, and you had all the old stuff out there and all the coloring books and the large play sets. I mean, this was something that really, didn't have a huge push, that I don't think, in the mainstream media. And I was amazed to see like all this other product that was for this license. Do you think that's something you guys can expand upon, or?
Well, actually, Jay, it sounds like you've been a little fly on the wall because, or somebody's been talking to you or something. Because, yeah, we actually are pursuing various license opportunities with Outer Spacemen right now. We've got, we haven't made any kind of official announcements about anything, but we've been talking to people about comic books. We've been talking to people about doing animated stuff. We've been talking about different, I don't want to say too much about it yet, but different little licensed products, because even though it was not a super popular line back in the 80s, like you said, Jay, there was an amazing amount of merchandise that came along with it. There were, little plastic Halloween masks. There were, like you said, there were coloring books. There was a comic series by DC. It was only 3 issues long, but it was still a comic book series. I mean, it really did get a good push and just didn't really take off because, again, I think it was just a line ahead of its time.
That sounds cool.
I have a Power Lord board game, actually. So, yeah, there was all kinds of crazy stuff out there.
There really was.
Well, that's really exciting that you guys might be doing some more with it. I'm pretty excited to see where all that's going.
Yeah, we are too. I don't think we were going to announce anything about that at PowerCon yet, but maybe we might have some announcements to make at the next Toypocalypse in February, hopefully.
Sweet.
Awesome. So no release dates then. So no.
No, well, you know what? Actually, no solid release dates on like the fully painted full sets, but we are going to have. This is the first time anybody's hearing it. We are going to have exclusives to sell at PowerCon.
Woo!
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I can't wait.
It's I don't want to say too much about it yet, but it's only going to be a couple figures from the line. It's not going to be the full line of figures. And what I will say is anybody who is army building fanatics, you're going to be happy.
Excellent. And for anybody that doesn't know, PowerCon is happening September 14th and 15th in Torrance, California. You can check it out at thepower-con.com. There's my PowerCon plug.
We'll all be there. Dan's going to be there doing everything, moderating. You're going to be like selling tickets. You're just going to be doing everything. You have your own panel there, man.
I do. I have a panel, and I'm going to be very busy. So, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast.
Pixel Dan, the Pope of PowerCon.
PowerCon.
I can't wait. It's going to be the biggest PowerCon yet. This is going to be one of my favorite conventions of the year already. I can tell.
And it's kind of exciting because it's not just Masters of the Universe this year. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Girl Power.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Power Lords too. Power Lords is going to be
Power Lords. Yep.
Yes,
That's
Power
right.
Lords.
Power Lords works, right? For
A lot of
Power.
power in
It's
it.
an 80s properties. It's Power Lords. I mean, it works better than it's got the name right there in it, you know. But yeah, PowerCon is going to be the official soft launch of the Power Lords figures.
That is exciting. Very, very cool.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I think Shartimus, you wanted to take the next one, right?
Well,
you want to talk about
yeah,
Gothitropolis stuff?
ask that, man.
Yeah. So you guys just wrapped up an amazing, successful Kickstarter campaign to bring your Raven figures to life. Which is awesome. Yes.
Love them.
So I'm curious to know how that first came to be. How did that all get started originally? What's the origin story behind that?
The origin story of that is a few years back we were doing this project called the Fantastic Exclusive. And what it was is we had a website set up and where we wanted to have fans much more involved in the creative process of making an action figure. And we have various properties. We have the 4 main ones that we're really pitching on Fantastic Exclusive are Magma Core, Symbiotech, Seventh Kingdom, and Gothitropolis. Well, what Fantastic Exclusive allowed fans to do, it allowed them to come in and we would put characters from these various properties, a lot of different characters up, and the fans would choose by vote the characters that they liked the best. They would pick out the character that we would produce next. And after that, they would pick out things like scale, articulation, different types of weaponry, sometimes even paint applications, just all different aspects of helping to create the character. And once everything was finished, once all the voting was done and we have the character down, we'd go into production, and we try to keep fans as up to date on the production as we could and release photos every once in a while whenever the factory would send us photos of the production actually going on, so they actually feel like they're really involved in helping us create this action figure that they would eventually be able to hold in their hands and play with. Well, we had a couple of years. It was Seventh Kingdom was there were a couple of Seventh Kingdom characters that won, and then 1 year a Gothitropolis character, Scarabus, won, and then the most recent one was the Raven. Well, the Raven won, and just before that we had released Scarabus. Scarabus was the most expensive action figure that we had ever produced, and it was insanely expensive. It really caught us off guard. And I think we just in the last 3 months started making money back off of that figure. And it really, really was a lot more expensive than we expected.
Is it because of the layers? Because there's a lot of layers.
It's a lot. That's a lot of it. I mean, a lot of it is the production costs. I mean, it all comes down to petroleum. Oil is in the plastic. Oil is in the paints. Oil is in the packaging. It's in any of the printing, and it's in the shipping costs. When oil prices go up, everything else goes up as far as toy production. And with the Raven figures, the Scarabus was really expensive, so we started having the Raven figures costed out by the factories. And this thing, even though it was smaller, it had less detail and less parts than the Scarabus figure, it was coming in almost $20,000 higher just for the production cost of this figure. And there was no way we could afford it. We were going back and forth trying to figure out ways to maybe pull out articulation or cut down on paint applications. And after a while, we just looked at it and we're like, we don't want to do this. This is not what we want to do with this. We want to release this quality product that's going to stand up to characters like Ramathor and Scarabus and the Minotaurs that we released.
Oh, yeah,
we don't want to cut back on this thing just to get it out. So what we decided to do is just hold back on it and try to figure out another way to do it. A friend of ours said, we had sat on the shelves at our studio. We kept showing it at conventions, trying to figure out ways to release it. And it really sat on the shelves of the studio for probably 3 years. And one of our friends, George Gaspar, owner of October Toys, co-owner with Aileen.
George.
Yeah, George. And co-owner with Aileen, and they're also the hosts of Toy Break. They had done some Kickstarter projects that were really successful for them for the little OMFG figures. Yeah. And so we said they told us, you guys should try that. And there were other people that we had known that had tried some Kickstarter stuff, and it worked pretty well for them. But this was like a 6-inch, highly detailed, very expensive action figure. So even when we decided let's go ahead and try this, we were really hesitant as to how to go about it, because we knew that full production on all 12 of the variants that we wanted to do, that's including, and this is only to break even. This is including the production, the tooling cost to actually make the tools, and the shipping cost to get them from there to here was going to be around $125,000. And we couldn't swing it, and we thought if we put that we want to get $125,000 just to make 12 toys, people will hang us. They'll string. There's no way we could do that. So we said, you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's just put the first 6 up there. Let's put 6 up there, try to hit our $65,000 goal to cover that. And if that works, then we'll start adding the other ones on as stretch goals, and maybe we'll eventually reach $125,000. If not, maybe we can release 6 or 7 of those figures, and then later on, maybe we can go back and try it again and release the others. Mm-hmm. Well, the project was a little bit more successful than we had estimated. And
it was.
In the first 57 hours, we blew right past the $65,000 goal. And the following weekend during Comic-Con, all 12 of the variant figures had been, their stretch goals had been unlocked. And we were at Comic-Con, and we were like, we didn't realize this. We thought maybe it was going to be a week after Comic-Con, and we could go back and paint up another figure or two and have the wings ready. But it was all happening so fast that we didn't have any of that stuff ready. So we just threw up drawings as stretch goals and like rough sculptures as stretch goals and like a picture of a pink flamingo's head that off the internet and slapped on one of the bodies. So the project that we wanted we originally wanted $65,000 for, and then we're hoping to maybe get $125,000 for. We ended up raising $330,666.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That is incredible. Well, it's not a huge surprise. Well, it's a fan-made toy line.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but still, it's kind of just from the ground up and everything, too.
But we were just amazed at the number of people who came on board. They're people that or their names don't even pop up on Store Horsemen as having ever ordered anything before. You know, they're new fans. We've got a whole new fan base just because of that Kickstarter project now. So
do you kind of think that this is where the future of like the toy industry, or at least like the collector action figure industry is kind of going, is the whole Kickstarter and that type of thing? Like, you know, less general retail and more like fan specific distribution?
When we first suggested to Mattel during a panel at Comic-Con to do a subscription for Masters of the Universe, we really were just kind of joking around a little bit, but thought, you know, that actually might work. And I thought that was going to be kind of the wave of the future as far as toy companies producing and releasing action figures. It didn't really seem to catch fire the way that I thought it would. And we've seen a few action figure projects or minifigure projects or something go up on Kickstarter and either do okay or fail completely, or try a few times and eventually succeed. So I didn't really think that this was going to be the way to do things. But now, after doing what we did with this, and I don't know why it hit so hard, I don't know why that it did so well, but I'm thinking people are going to probably stand up and take notice of what we've done here, and hopefully this will create a new way of getting action figures into the hands of fans. Because there's a lot of creative people out there. There's a lot of people who have a lot of talent and a lot of, you know, drive to make this kind of stuff happen. But the biggest problem is they don't have the capital to do it. We've been in business for over 10 years, and we don't have the capital to do that anymore by ourselves. You just can't do it anymore. And so something like Kickstarter, or I know there's a few other sites out there. They actually approached us after we started our Kickstarter and asked us if we wanted to do it with them next time. But there's a lot of spots out there, and I'm sure that somebody will come up with something that will be specifically for action figures, where people will be doing Kickstarter type things for action figures at some point. But I think that may really be the wave of the future. It's definitely going to happen for us again. We're going to wait until the Raven figures ship and before we start anything else. But I'm telling you right now, we are already working on the next project that we're going to launch through Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
So in March or April, you're going to see, we might start promoting it before then, might start promoting it if we can at Toypocalypse 4. But, which, by the way, for people who may not know, Toypocalypse is our annual gallery show that the kind people at TT Underground in New York City, TT Underground Galleries, they ask us back there every year to have a gallery show. We try to mix it up and do different stuff every year. So maybe this year it'll be the announcement and the launch of the next Kickstarter project, which will hopefully get rolling in March or April.
That'll be awesome. That's really cool news. And I think you're right, because I'm seeing so many toys like getting made through Kickstarter now. There's been a lot of toy-related campaigns. It seems like it's definitely a growing thing, and especially now that you guys have just kind of blown it all out of the water with how successful yours was, I could totally see this being, you know, getting more and more common and more people kind of going this way.
This may be unorthodox, but let me ask you guys a question. What do you think? Do you think that larger toy companies are going to take notice of what we did on Kickstarter and maybe try to do something through their own companies, or try to do a Kickstarter, do something through Kickstarter?
I think it's possible. I know that the only problem, like, a lot of people have suggested Mattel do this for like their subscriptions and stuff like that, but I know that Mattel's biggest thing is they can't reveal a dollar amount, and they can't reveal, you know, a number of figures or whatever. You know, they don't reveal the quantities that they produce.
Right.
And I think that's going to be the hang-up for doing stuff like Kickstarter with the big companies, because they've got all the legalities to go through. But I definitely think that it's possible they might try something on their own, like through their own companies like that.
I don't think Hasbro would ever do it. Hasbro, I don't think they believe adult collectors buy any of their products.
Oh man.
They just have this. There's always like a push, you know, aiming towards the you know, the younger demographic, like as if we don't spend any money on these things. So I think you kind of proved that point. Now I could mention that next time I talk to them.
Yep.
I hope so. And we still have every day. We're still receiving emails and stuff from people every day saying, I just found out about this Kickstarter. How can I get involved? I hope I didn't miss out. Now, another thing is these figures that the Raven variants that we have on Kickstarter, they will be for sale through Store Horsemen eventually.
Awesome.
It'll be spring.
Question, so that's cool.
Oh, really? Well, I'm psychic. Or I have a cheat right here in front of me, one or the other. They everything except for Minotaur the Duck. He was a Kickstarter exclusive.
Yeah, Minotaur the Duck.
Oh, damn it. I really wanted that duck. I needed the duck so bad.
Shardamus, you didn't get on the Kickstarter?
I couldn't, man. I couldn't cough up the money.
Well, he's an exclusive of ours to sell through Kickstarter. We may find other ways to get it in the hands of collectors, but it'll only be through very, very special circumstances. So if you didn't get a Minotaur the Duck on Kickstarter, buy it. There may be some contests and some promotional things coming up where you may be able to get your hands on one. Okay. But Minotaur the Duck was a Kickstarter exclusive, and the Battle Pack, which included a Screaming Raven head, a removable helmet, and a Raven blood saber, that was a Kickstarter exclusive as well. But everything else will be available on Store Horsemen in spring 2014. And the cost will be a little higher than they were on Kickstarter, but they're still going to be fairly reasonable prices.
Awesome. Well, hey, did any of you guys have any more questions about the Gothitropolis?
Let's see.
I think we just lost Shardamus.
Did we just lose somebody?
Shardamus.
Yeah, we did. Oh, man. First show, we had to lose someone, of course. The excitement of the Raven is just like...
Is that what it was? The excitement of the Raven just being off the show?
Broke down because of excitement.
He pulled all over the keyboard and lost him.
Yeah.
The Raven, the internet.
Let's see. Anything?
I was going to ask if you guys have any more questions on the Metropolis. If not, I think that's a pretty good wrapping place.
Yeah. Oh, and if you guys haven't seen the Gothitropolis, I gotta give a shout out from Brazil with Love. He led me onto that toy line. Actually, I think we got the point across that they're basically like animal mutant men kind of characters. They're really, really cool. Like,
at least the Ravens are, yeah.
Well, yeah. The
There's a lot to the story than that, but it seems like for some reason our anthropomorphic characters just seem to go crazy. They always sell out before. Like when we did the Minotaurs, the Zephyus and the other Minotaurs, they sold out like almost instantly, within hours. When we did Ramathor, that thing sold really well. He was a big elephant humanoid.
Yeah.
And then when we did the Queens, there were some cats, some feline women. Those sold really fast. Yep. And when we did Scarabus, we had like Anubis and Horos. They were like Egyptian animal gods, kind of inspired by them.
Yeah.
Those sold out faster than everything else. And now these Ravens are going crazy. So I think, anthropomorphic creatures, humanoids, they seem to work for us. So I don't know why. People seem to love them, though.
People love them. Hey, man, you're doing some great stuff. And you've given us a lot of great information, so I really appreciate all of that stuff. And I hope everybody goes and checks out everything. Why don't you go tell everybody where they can go find all your stuff and where they can buy your stuff.
All right. Our main website is sourcehorsemen.com. That's sourcehorsemen.com. That's where you can find links to all the other stuff. There's message boards there. Go and join up on the message boards and chat with the guys over there. There's a gallery that we're still building. A lot of stuff there. But that's the main hub for all things Four Horsemen. There's our online retail outlet, Store Horsemen. That's STOREHORSEMEN.com. And, we're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Just search for us. You'll find us. I don't know what the URLs for that crap is.
Just search for Horseman Design. You'll find them.
There you go.
Or you can find them on all our Facebooks, too. You can see them there.
Oh, yeah, you can find them.
We definitely been promoting you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you one more question before we let you go. With all of these awesome toy properties you've gotten a chance to do new toys for, if there was one other property that you've never done toys for before, what would you love to do?
Well, I'm gonna give you two answers here.
Okay.
Because one toy line we have actually done a couple of figures for, but we really didn't get to be unleashed and do what we really wanted to do with it. And that's my all-time favorite comic book is Fantastic Four.
Oh, wow.
Friends, when Jesse Falcon and the guys were heading up toy business, we helped them out a couple of times on some projects here and there. We got to do a few of the Fantastic Four figures.
Nice.
The Marvel Legends ones?
Yeah.
That is
nice.
awesome. Which one?
Can't tell us.
The Thing.
Blasphemy!
Version of the Thing.
Stop blasphemy.
I think we did a tour. I have to go back and look. Well, we did a Mr. Fantastic, the one with the big honking guns. I think it was with Michael Ringo, that era when he was drawing Fantastic Four. It was the figures from that era.
Oh.
Okay.
But we did a couple of those, and again, it was not really the versions of the Fantastic Four that we want to see. It was, based on Michael Ringo's artwork, and we loved doing it because we got to do Fantastic Four. But so that if we ever got the chance to do Fantastic Four figures, I plead with Mattel to pick up the Marvel license so we can do Fantastic Four figures. I don't think it's ever going to happen now.
Oh, blasphemy!
Well, it'd be like Hot Toys, like those both flying Marvel and DC. I don't know. Whatever.
No, I honestly don't. It really wouldn't care to me. I'm joking, of course. As long as the figures look awesome.
That would be awesome. You guys do Fantastic Four figures. I would buy them in a heartbeat.
Well, I've always been a Marvel zombie anyway, so take Marvel and just run with it. I would be happier than a pig in poop. It would be awesome.
I like that.
But if I had to make a choice of one action figure line of all time that I wanted to have my hands in, then it would have to be Micronauts. The Japanese company Takara really was doing it justice a few years ago when they were releasing Microman figures. They were just doing some spectacular work with it. And when I was growing up, that was like my favorite action figure line of all time. And I know that with what we've learned in the action figure industry over the few years that we've been in it, I know we could really do that line justice and just tear it up. So if I was to ever have my chance to do any one action figure line and I could only pick one, then that would have to be it, no matter how much I love Fantastic Four.
Good. Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. Well,
I just want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Wait. One more question. What line would you guys want to see us do?
Oh, do you know? You want to hear my answer?
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a while now.
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Yeah, I agree. I've been wanting you to do Thundercats before Bandai got the license, man.
Yeah, we would love to do Thundercats. It would be awesome.
You guys.
What we've already talked about is like picking up the Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks license and doing them all together.
Yeah,
That'd be sweet.
I would love that.
I love Silverhawks. Yeah. I was curious to see what you guys would do with the Marvel license, though. That's one thing I was always curious to see. Even though I feel like as long as you guys had a little bit more articulation, going Marvel characters, I got to throw that in there on the articulation. But yeah. I mean, you guys sculpt and paint women like no other.
Yeah, most beautiful women sculpts ever from you guys.
Yeah.
And animals. You guys are the best at animals.
Animals and women, which is kind of.
You guys are animals with the women too. Oh no.
Married man. Don't let my wife hear this podcast.
Sorry, it's my little George.
That's all right.
It's all good.
All right, CB, I want to thank you again for coming on. It was awesome and an honor having you on our first episode here, and thanks so much for answering all of our questions.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Really honored to be on the inaugural episode of this. I don't even, what is this thing called?
Collector Connection.
I was telling my kids, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to be on Pixel Dan's podcast. They're like, what is it? I was like, I don't even know.
That's awesome.
It's just the Pixel Dan Show for sure.
That's it, the Pixel Dan Show.
Now, this is going out live right now, right?
Yeah, it's live right now.
It's going to be available to listen to online as well?
Yeah, this is on iTunes too for download.
Okay, be sure you send me a link and I'll promote the crap out of it tomorrow.
All right, we will.
Awesome.
Will do.
Thank you, folks.
Have a good night, CB. Thanks for joining us.
See you guys later.
All right.
Later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
see you, man.
Well, I guess it's time to take viewers or listeners, I guess, because they're not viewers. They can't view us; they can only listen. So you guys want to take some calls then?
Yeah, let's take some calls now.
All right. Well, I'm on our switchboard, so let's take caller 407. Thank you for holding for 50 minutes. What is your question?
Hello?
Transformer on the line.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Yes. Sorry, man. I just got out of work, was listening to the podcast, and I called in. I couldn't listen to the podcast on my phone because it's got some sort of flash player. But when you call the number, it just plays the podcast. So I just started listening in on it. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's how it works.
So just to let you know, if you didn't know, my name is Sakio Castro. I follow you guys. You know, you believe it or not, the three of you were one of the reasons I was doing the video reviews myself, and I was online looking at it, and I said, you know what? I actually stopped doing reviews because the three of you have such good reviews. It doesn't really need for me to do it.
Well, thank you.
You don't stop because of us.
Another competitor taken out.
No. What you guys have done it a lot longer. You know how I started? I actually just started watching a couple of videos, and I just wanted to see how I can actually kind of get into the whole camera, video, picture, ACBA kind of thing. And I will give you guys credit because of you guys and your information, your expertise combined. I was able to amass a large collection, and slowly but surely, I think I have way too many figures now. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Getting for that all the time, especially But the podcast was very, very, I was blown away that you guys even got a 4 Horsemen on there. So. Well, thanks, Dan and Jay, for that. So, yeah, they're the man.
Yep.
Well, hopefully, thanks so much for listening.
Did you have a
man,
question?
Listen, I did have a question about an hour ago.
He's going to hold for 50 minutes, so.
Yeah.
I didn't know. To be honest with you guys put me on the spot. I didn't know I was on hold. I got a couple questions. You guys, as a collector, I do a little bit of shopping. You know, the toy hunt on the road, it's fun. It takes us back to when we were kids. Recently, I just purchased my first Masters of the Universe figure in a store. And obviously, you can get them online, but I bought it in the store at the Big Lots drop. But you know what? Think of it this way. I did not own a Masters of the Universe Classics figure at all. I would watch Pixel Dan.
That's why I think it's good that they're showing up at Big Lots for people like you that didn't have one yet. I think that's awesome.
I'm a huge Marvel Legends, DC Universe, NECA, kind of guy. And I was doing Marvel Universe 3 3/4 inch, and then I kind of sold off my line little by little because the Legends and the DC and everything was taking everything up. Anyways, just to shorten the question, if you guys, this is directed to I think Shartimus and Pixel Dan because you collect two different worlds.
Okay.
How do you guys get your hands on such early releases of some of these figures that aren't even out yet? And it's kind of like Cast the Spell. And Cast the Spell came out, and I was like, he's not even out. He got some San Diego Comic-Con exclusives before San Diego Comic-Con was out. And then Shartimus, obviously, you've been getting some goods too as well, kind of early.
I haven't stuff really earlier than anybody else. A lot of times, I've never bought anything off of eBay from a Chinese seller or anything like that. But I will say I do have a lot of friends that keep an eye out for me, and so I do have friends that are on the lookout, and they want to see figures, and that's mostly how I've got things early if I actually do get them early. Most of the time, I don't really see myself getting a whole lot of stuff really early. What about you, Dan?
Well, I'm very lucky that I actually have a working relationship with Mattel. So Mattel does actually provide me early samples of figures. And I got lucky because I got in with them several years ago when they first started these lines, because they liked what I was doing video-wise, and so they started sending me stuff. So I'm very, very lucky that I've got that connection. But that's how I get my stuff, straight through Mattel.
Yeah, man, they hate me. So I don't have that kind of connection with that.
And another question, and this is just from a collector's point of view. I grew up,
one more
probably like
we have a lot of callers.
Real quick one, because I think fans my age and your age, 80s babies. I'm an adult. I got 3 kids. I have a family. I'm a responsible adult, work in society. And then some of my friends who aren't collectors, they look at me like I have a third head because I, one, do what I do or collect how I collect. And they look at me and say, "Why don't you grow up?" I'm sure you guys may hear the same thing. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think it's silly for people to say that, to be honest, because I think I'm kind of lucky because I'm not really in a situation where I ever get that said to me anymore. Like, all of my friends are really cool and they understand what I do and they think it's really neat what I'm doing, and my wife is totally on board with it and my parents think it's cool. So I guess I'm lucky, but it's just one of those things where I would just kind of take it in stride, man. Laugh it off, but enjoy what you're doing. Don't let it get to you, You
gotta have fun first. What we do, we have a thick skin. So you gotta know that someone out there is not gonna like what you do, regardless. You can't please everyone, and you should always do it because you're pleasing yourself. And if you're doing this for your viewers too, don't do it thinking you're gonna win over everyone, especially with toys, because some people look at it as a stigma. Some people look at it as it's like, why are you playing with toys? It's like 30, 40, whatever. It's like, you know what? Collecting is bigger than it ever was, and I think it's more acceptable. But still, you're gonna deal with naysayers. Don't let them get to you. Just have fun with it.
I look at it like this, okay? Because I'm not a heavy drinker right now. I've had times in my life where I drank a lot before, but think of it like this. Somebody's saying like, "Man, why don't you grow up?" That's fun for me. I think that it's too young. It's too young of a hobby for an adult. So what's the typical hobby adults do? They go drink, right? So say you go drink. Say you easily drop $100 on a night going out with your friends, right? Easily, you could lose $100 going out drinking with your homies. Dude, that $100 is gone forever. You threw it up in the toilet, like it's gone.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I get to look at my $100. My $100 are still on the shelf.
Yeah, we get to review it and make you money off it. So it's awesome. It's a win-win.
So it's like, so what you want me? That's my.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Keep your head up. I just try to do the same. Listen, you guys make, all 3 of you, you guys make me and, some of my friends feel like geeking is cool because, you know what?
Is it?
I wasn't the kid that got picked on in school. I was the kid defending other kids from bullies. I was a big kid. But now that I'm older, you got no one to pick on you other than coworkers and people that, think that this is not the thing. I just tell them, hey, man, what happened in your life where your childhood isn't, important to you, or your kids, or your relationship with the things you love. Articulated figures have come a long way, and I thank you guys, man. I just want to give you my thanks on that.
Hey, no problem, man. Well, hey, thanks so much for calling in, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for calling in. You have a good day.
Have a good night, man.
You guys are like the Triforce of comics.
Hold on, love it. Okay. All right, let's see our next caller here. This person's been holding for 53 minutes. So, caller 973, what is your name and question?
John, what's up? It's Dean from New Jersey.
Oh, it's Dean, a regular from Toy Talk and my own podcast.
Yeah.
What's up, Dean? Welcome to the Collector Connection, man, our first one. What's your question, Dean?
My question is, what was your first experience in high-end collectibles? Like Sean with you in Hot Toys, Shartimus with you in Marvel Legends, and Pixel Dan with you in like Masters of the Universe Classics.
Oh yeah, well, obviously with me, if you count high-end, Sideshow, Hot Toys figures, I've been collecting that for many years now. So, and even when DC Direct, back before they were DC Collectibles, they were doing those 13-inch. They're not quite 1/6 scale, but they were like 13-inch figures.
Yeah.
So I got into that. I remember I got the original Dark Knight Batman Joker they did that weren't that great. And then when I got the Hot Toys, I'm like, oh my god, these are so much better. Screw
Yeah,
these
I know.
So yeah, so that was like back in 2008. So yeah, but what about any of you guys?
I think my first. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, what do you consider like high end though? Like, are you counting Marvel Legends and Masters of the Universe Classics,
or is it like really high end? Like,
are you talking about like high?
Yeah,
high
like
end,
Marvel Legends or like anything like collector friendly, really.
Okay.
Oh, then
so
Marvel Universe, like Marvel Legends and Masters of the Universe, Hot Toys, stuff like that.
So I would probably say Marvel Legends was my real big first collector line then. I got real huge into it back in the Toy Biz days, actually starting with Spider-Man Classics. That's what really got me into it. I was in love with the Spider-Man Classics line, and then it expanded into Marvel Legends, and I got real wrapped up in that. And that was all happening prior to the 2002 relaunch of Masters of the Universe, or right around the same time.
Right.
So Marvel Legends is where I would definitely credit where I started it.
Yeah, but what about Star Wars? I mean, I would consider Star Wars the
That's true. If we count Star Wars, like I jumped on the collecting bandwagon in '95 when Power of the Force came out.
Yeah, Power of the Force.
Yeah. Well, so if we count Star Wars, then Star Wars would definitely be it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just gonna answer the question pretending that Masters of the Universe and Marvel Legends don't count as high end, because I mean when I think high end, I think $100 plus per
Me
figure.
too. Yeah, me
So
too.
my first experience with a high end figure was a Transformers masterpiece, Starscream.
Oh yeah, that too.
That was my first experience with a high end figure where it's like I had something in my hands where I was holding it like a baby. I was like, oh my god, this thing right here. I can't believe it, because so when I saw pictures of it, I just couldn't. I remember I was looking at pictures online, just going through it and looking at more pictures of Starscream and watching every single review that I possibly could and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I even got into Masterpiece before Hot Toys. Yeah, and like they're Transformers, man, and they were like the best versions of Transformers you can get.
Yeah, there's a Toys R Us down by me, and they have a Masterpiece. I forgot which Transformer it was, but it was like a green and purple box. I forgot the name of the Transformer though.
Acid Storm and Soundwave. Is that what you're thinking right now?
I think it might have been Soundwave, because there's not much collectors in my area, so I'm like
very lucky.
Kind of like one of the very.
Oh, yeah, wow, you found a Soundwave, huh?
Like I walked into my Toys R Us. I'm about to leave, and I turn around and I see the Marvel Legends Mark 42. I'm like, oh, I found it.
Oh wow!
Very cool.
There's very little collectors in my area.
You went right past the Soundwave and straight to the Mark 42.
I'm not really big on. I'm not really big on Transformers or the Masterpiece.
We probably didn't have $119 to drop.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I didn't have much money on me at the time. I had like $20 on me though, so I couldn't really.
Yeah, that wouldn't have.
There's no way you could have gotten it.
Would you have done that whole thing like where you grab it? I tend to do this thing where I grab the expensive figure that I know I can't afford and I pretend I'm going to buy it for about 45
minutes. Yeah, I know.
Minutes.
You just look at it saying you just look at it saying one day you'll be mine.
Yeah, like for right now, at the store, right now, and then when I have to leave, I'll put it back and then it's no longer mine. But for right now.
Dean, if you're friends with Charmus on Facebook, there's a picture of him gasping onto that Millennium Falcon that got re-released recently. Yeah. And it's the funniest picture. Feel for him, man. And it's like, well, you can always come over to my place and play with mine.
Are you talking about the big Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I put all the stickers on it when he was asleep.
Yep.
Is it like that? Does it look like one of those, like, does the Millennium Falcon look like a really retro old box?
Yeah.
Oh, the newer one that just. I had the one.
Yeah, there's like three of those in my Toys R Us. There's like three of them.
No, I see them all the time too. I just don't have $250.
I would so buy it if I had the money.
I got it when it was $150, so I was very lucky. Just didn't have.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's like $175 over here.
Oh wow, that's a good price. You better get it, man.
Yeah. It's like around $150, $175.
Very cool, dude. Well, Dean, great question, man. It's great talking to you again.
Oh,
Remember, I'll talk to you
just
on my
real quick. Just I need to tell Shartimus. Remember that Daredevil figure I told you about on Sunday?
Not the Durbin Affleck?
Oh,
No.
you told me, Dean, not Shartimus.
Yeah, Shartimus, this is for you. There was a very short-lived line of 12-inch Marvel figures called Marvel Studios, and they actually made one for
I'm holding
Daredevil.
one right now.
Yeah, the Daredevil.
Yeah, the movie Daredevil. And it has like a cloth costume, and the articulation is great. I have one, and personally, I think it's pretty cool. The costume is a little loose, though, like a loose on the body, but still, it's a very cool figure.
I'm
Go on
actually
eBay.
From those.
Yeah, it's a Darben Affleck figure. It's 12-inch. It has like cloth clothes, and it comes with a bunch of his Billy clubs.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the same line as that Blade figure.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool figure.
Blade.
Yeah, the Blade that Shartimus just got.
I'm actually reviewing Blade that came from that same toy line. That's going up tomorrow.
Oh, that's sick! Can't wait for that one.
Right on. But yeah.
Just look at it on eBay. It's a pretty sick figure.
Well, thanks, Dean, for calling in, man. Feel free to call in
of
on
course.
the other shows, and you have a nice day, bro. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Have a sick day.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
I'd say we got about 10 more minutes for callers, right, dude?
No, we
guys.
Whatever long you do, I'm used to doing this for 2 hours. So
Let's take a couple more. Try to keep it at one question per caller if we can.
Okay, cool.
There's so many people waiting to call in, so I feel bad that we can't answer everybody's.
No problem. 812, what is your name and question? Caller 812, what's your name and question?
Hello.
Hi, what is your name and question?
Is it me? I'm confused.
No, we're talking. Yeah, we're all talking to you, man. Go.
Yeah. What's your
live on the air?
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'm Dylan. I'm from Indiana, Evansville.
Hi, Dylan.
Evansville, Indiana.
What's up, Dylan?
From Indiana.
What's your question, Dylan?
I was wondering, what kind of super Walmarts and all these stores that you guys get your stuff from? My Walmart here in Evansville still doesn't have the rest of the movie Iron Man wave.
I haven't seen those in my area either. They haven't shown up here.
My Walmart doesn't even carry 6-inch figures. So.
Oh, that sucks, man. I actually, in my area, I actually did find the second wave. I actually found them for Shartimus back in the day. Remember, that was right before, the unfortunate accident happened. Remember? Yeah, I sent them to you. Remember? It was my last Walmart run before that accident.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Even more honored. Jeez.
But I know. I did a toy run, and it was for Shartimus.
Yes.
So it was my last toy run. I did a toy run just recently. I haven't done a toy run in so long, if anyone knows my backstory, but I'm not going to tell it here. But, so it's, Walmart, it's very, some Walmarts could be really great and have everything new. Like, I remember I found you, like, the Amazing Spider-Man figures. I remember I found you Lizard, the movie Spider-Man, and the Miles Spider-Man? Yeah, I found them all for you at that same Walmart. So, anytime my Walmart's good for finding figures for Shartimus, I think.
Yeah, that's my Walmart over there.
I have 3 Walmarts in my town in Springfield, and all 3 of them are very different from one another. None of them carry the same things, and they're all terrible. Like, I can never find any good toys at them. They all have different things, but not the things that I want to find. So I have to do all my shopping at Target and Toys R Us. They're the only 2 stores around here that carry good toys.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we mentioned before, the worst is store exclusives, especially for the store like Shartimus doesn't have a Walmart near him, and Dan, you have bad Walmart. So when you have the Walmart exclusive 6-inch Marvel figures, that sucks for people like us that love Marvel figures and can't get them. So you have to rely on friends like me that do have a good Walmart that can find them. But it sucks a lot. I hate Walmart exclusives. They're the worst. When I like the Man of Steel stuff, dude, and they have like some, if it's some recent thing that was weird.
With the Man of Steel line, I've never seen one armored Zod figure. I really wanted
me neither.
Really bad.
Yeah,
me either.
I never
saw those here. I
saw him at Target, but I haven't seen Feora. She's the only one I haven't seen in retail.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. I didn't even know that had come out until I saw your review. But like, I have 2 targets, and they're both terrible. Like, the only figures they ever have are the Claw from the Terrax Wave and the Hope Summer.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're the they've been peg warmers for like what, 2 years now? It seems like Claw and. Oh, crap.
Oh, that was some serious static.
Well, I have apologies to Artemis Prime having technical difficulties. He'll be back with us momentarily. Anyone else want to, Jay, Dan, anything else to chime in about Walmarts or anything? Or?
No, man, mine just are terrible.
Yeah, mine are too. I do most of my shopping online these days.
Yeah, we mostly buy our toys from BigBadToyStore.com.
That's right.
Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah, exactly. No, Big Bad Toy Store is great. Well, a lot of online stores, even Big Bad Toy Store, will sell a lot of the exclusives, maybe sometimes for a little bit more, but considering the gas, you go on all these toy runs, you do that, and hopefully Sharmus returns soon. But great question, bro. Thank you so much for calling in, and you have a wonderful night. All right. Well, let's take our next caller here, and hopefully Sharmus. Yeah, he's back. You good?
Sharmus is back.
You good, bro? You good? You didn't have like internet monster trolls eating your, internet. Okay. All right. Let's take our next caller. All right. 11111111111. You're on the air. What's your name and question?
Oh, this is cool. Hey, Sean.
Hey, what's up, dude? What's your question?
No, my question, let's see. My question would have to probably be, from your guys' memories, what's probably the one thing that drove you and said, I like this geeky sort of thing. I should go buy figures of it. And then it just started this montage of you guys just keep going to the store and buying more and more, and then you're like, oh, maybe I like that line as well, and I want that one too. So what would have to be your first figure line that just, or the thing that drove you said, you know what, I'm into Ninja Turtles, and you went to stores, oh, they got figures of these? I can make a habit of this.
Oh, man. So many things, man. It's like everything that's retail related, at least. I mean, what didn't I was collecting everything at one point. I had to stop collecting some lines because there was way too much. I have way too much stuff, man. I mean, what about you, Dan?
I've always kind of been like that. Like, when I was a kid, I would go see a movie that I really liked, and then I'd be like, oh, man, I hope there's toys of this movie because now I want to own toys of this movie. I specifically remember one instance when I was a kid, I saw the movie Hook.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted a Rufio figure so bad after seeing that movie and was so excited to go to the store and find a Rufio figure. And so that's definitely a great example of that. But, man, like, yeah, I loved the X-Men figures when I was a kid from Toy Biz.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing where, like, I was watching the X-Men cartoons so much on Saturday mornings. And yeah, exactly. So, like, I wanted a Wolverine so bad after watching that cartoon, and I went out and I just got real into the X-Men toys after that. So that's probably where it started for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about how you started collecting?
Oh, yeah, like anything that you watch, like a show or anything, and then just got you into buying that toy line because of the show or whatever.
Oh, like the very first one, or just in general, like also?
Yeah, I guess in general or very first one, whatever.
Oh, okay. Oh, but there's just so many. You know what I mean? There's just, I guess, yeah. There's just so many. It's countless.
That's his answer.
That's
yeah, I mean, dude, like, what the hell you want me to say? It's like everything I have. I guess. I mean, Transformers, I guess, is the one where it really... Okay, Transformers. That's the one where it really did it. Because that's like... Okay, the cartoon made it so that they actually transformed consistently with the toy.
Right.
So you have the toy, and you have the cartoon right in front of you. And it's just it's a whole different experience that I don't think they've ever had with any other toy line ever before that. And nothing really quite like it afterwards, really. I mean, I guess they've done it other times before, like Beast Machines, and there's not even that many Transformers cartoons where the transformations are actually exactly like the toy. Like the Michael Bay movies, they just made up those transformations like a new transformation every time.
Yeah. That's true. Accuracy goes a long way with those things.
I think all those shows in the 80s were basically just big toy commercials. I mean, watch the G.I. Joe commercial and then...
Yep.
Well, that's it.
We were all a victim of public advertisement.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
One thing I've mentioned before on other podcasts that I think you don't see that a lot. It was great with Cornboy having them on here. It's great to see toy lines that didn't have a cartoon or property beforehand, because that's what the 80s was all about. He-Man and Transformers were toys before they were cartoons. They made cartoons based off a toy line. You don't see that anymore. It's always the other way around. You have to have a cartoon, then you have toys, or a movie, then you have toys. It's not the other way around anymore. So I think that's something I miss from the 80s a lot. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
That's just the big business trying to profit off the little guy.
Wait, but we just talked about how the Four Horsemen are doing all this. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. The Four Horsemen is kind of like they don't have any kind of there's no entertainment property going out there. It is just the naked toys.
Cartoon, no Power Lords cartoon, no, and none of that stuff. Yeah, it's like
no He-Man cartoon or anything.
I know there is. I was just watching 2000X He-Man again because, man, I'm so excited for all these upcoming figures that come out, man. Oh.
I just saw the episode with Mossman, and I started cracking up all over again.
Look
how badass Mossman is.
Dude, it's so cool. Evil Seed is awesome on that show.
I never thought Mossman would ever look so cool to me. I always thought he was a goofy-looking character.
That's why I love the 2000X head they included. That was really cool. Man, by the way, they took out He-Man and She-Ra off Netflix. I know this is not really...
I know.
I hate that. I have it on DVD, so I'm okay, but original Filmation, man. Anyway, good question, bro. Really good question. Hope that answers it, and hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thanks for calling, man.
Hey, no problem. You guys too.
All right. Well, let's take our next caller here. Actually, I think this person, we might know who this is. Wait, maybe. 415, you're on the air. What's your name and question?
Hey, it's Phil, San Francisco.
What's up, Phil?
How you guys
doing? Hey, Phil.
What's your question?
Well, it's kind of a weird one because it varies to each person here.
Okay.
We all have our favorite properties, so Dan, this kind of excludes you on this one because you already got your favorite toy, Mosquito.
Okay. Yeah, Mosquito.
So I'm gonna vary it to Ninja Turtles classes with Dan. So Dan, which Ninja Turtles classic would you like to see made next after Bebop and Rocksteady? And then Shartimus Prime.
Well, yeah.
Shartimus Prime.
So you want to know my figure?
No. I was just gonna throw the question out there, and you guys, based on the collector. So there. So Pixel Dan, next Ninja Turtle classic that you're most anticipating, Shartimus Prime, the Marvel Legends nothing that we've seen yet. So something that you want that Hasbro hasn't even made a prototype for, is something that you really want to see. And then Sean, of course, Hot Toys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good one. Okay, Dan first.
All right, cool. So obviously, I'd love to see somebody like Shredder or somebody get made in classics. But if we want to talk about my favorite old Ninja Turtles toy that I would love to see remade in classics, it would have to be Mutagen Man.
Yeah.
I loved Mutagen Man as a kid. That would probably be my Mosquito of the Ninja Turtles toy line. is Mutagen Man.
Out of all of them, the Mutagen Man is so
I love Mutagen Man. Dude, you filled him with water, and he had little parts floating around on the inside of him, and he was just so cool. So yeah, dude, I would love to see a new version of that.
Very cool. I would love to see that too, man. I would love to see that.
All right. There's Mondo Gecko, and there's that Triceratops dude, and there's that bat. There's so many other characters.
They're all awesome. Yeah, I love Wingnut. He's another cool one. Wingnut's awesome. Mondo Gecko's awesome. But dude, Mutagen Man, that's where it's at.
Or Usagi Yojimbo, that's the one they have to make.
Oh man, that'd be great
That's
too.
a different license though.
That's the problem. Yep.
I had a figure though that was part of that. but Playmates had the license back in the day, right?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
It's like he's a different comic character that crossed over into Turtles, and they were able to make a toy of him still. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I always thought he was such a badass character. All right. For me, Marvel Legends, I'm thinking, well, Thanos is one that I think they really should make, even though I don't really want a Marvel Legends Thanos like that bad. Like as far as a larger figure, I really want a strong guy. I know it sounds kind of random, but and then also
look at the Marvel Select Thanos.
Yeah, the Marvel Select Thanos is badass enough as it is, but you know, like if they did make a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Thanos, people would go crazy for it.
Well, I'm sure they will when the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Avengers 3 probably.
Yeah, so I mean, eventually we will. I'm pretty sure we will get one. But out of the ones that I think that we may never see, you know, a strong guy and you know, a 90s strong guy, that older costume with the puffy jacket and everything.
And you're making fun of Dan of Mutagen Man?
It's cool. He's got the little, he's got the little hair thingy on the top of his head.
Oh man.
Oh, he's so much. Okay, well, I just thought of that one at random, but the one I've actually here's the one that's gonna beat Mutagen Man. All right, Shatterstar. Shatterstar would be a really
Shatterstar.
Yeah. No? What? Come on. Yeah.
I agree. Oh, you'd be a cool character.
Rob Liefeld would love it, I'm sure.
I still want Mockingbird, but that's me if I was in Marvel Legends. But
Oh, Darkness Marvel, yeah.
Oh well, no, Mockingbird. Mockingbird's a great.
Oh, Mockingbird, the girl. Yeah, I know Mockingbird.
West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
They have a Universe figure of her, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I don't collect Universe. That's your department, Charlie. But for me, my department, Hot Toys, there's 3 licenses they have that I'm super excited for that I know for sure they're making. That's Batman Returns. I hope they do Michelle Pfeiffer and the Penguin, Catwoman and Penguin, and Back to the Future. I definitely want a Hot Toys 1/6 scale DeLorean and Marty and Doc.
Oh wow, a DeLorean.
Yep. They are definitely doing them for sure, they said.
Oh, wow.
I know. That's because Mattel will never give us a 6-inch one. So Hot Toys, even when they announce and by the time they actually release, we'll probably get them before Mattel ever makes their 6-inch ones that they promised back at Comic-Con 2011 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Batman Arkham City. They're doing Batman and Joker. So I'm very excited for those licenses. Anything else they have? The only one license they don't have that I love that kind of goes in with everything we're talking about, 1990 Ninja Turtle movie figures. That would be amazing to have Hot Toys 1990 Ninja Turtle movie figures.
If they did Hot Toys Turtles, I would be in trouble.
I know.
I would have to have all of those.
I would get everyone, the 4 Turtles, Casey Jones, Shredder, Splinter, April. I would buy them all.
That would be... Oh, man.
That would be a dream. So those are my licenses. The ones for sure, the 3 I said will come out, but that Ninja Turtle one, if they ever got it, Playmates or whoever whoever has the rights for Turtles, I think Warner Bros. Maybe now, please, Warner Bros. Already works with Hot Toys. Why not? Hey, let's make Hot Toys Ninja Turtles. That'd be amazing. Yeah, why not? Or maybe
I want to add in a Build-A-Figure Dormammu.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Everything. I would like that, man. I would buy that too. He's great in Marvel versus Capcom, by the way.
Yeah, that's another reason why he might sell. But yeah, all right.
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon was in Ultimate one, so I mean, I kind of wanted that figure, and then I watched your review. It's like, never mind. It's all good. Anyway,
nice Marvel Universe figure.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but great question, bro. I hope that we all answered it to your fullest content. So yeah,
Phil.
thank you so much for calling.
Phil.
Oh yeah, thank you, Phil. You have a great night.
I thought it was Phil.
Yeah.
I just gotta say it's like. Go ahead, Chuck.
Oh no, sorry. You go ahead.
No, it's Artemis.
No,
You're talking.
Yeah, my thing had cut. I got disconnected as soon as we picked up the call, so I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Well,
I just gotta say, 3 of my favorite toy reviewers on the same podcast. Easily my hands down favorite podcast from now on.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Thank you. I kind of wish we were doing this weekly, but I understand we can't. So,
we're all so busy. It'd be tough to do this weekly, but
well, we'll be around in our other podcasts for you.
That's right.
We'll assemble. We're like the Avengers of
That's right. We assemble once a month. That way, it's special for everybody. See, it's special.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, even if we're all doing our own thing in reviews, we're glad to be here for you guys. We love you guys. So, thank you, Phil.
And Phil.
Have a good night, buddy.
Yeah, have a good night, buddy.
Take it easy.
See you, man.
All right. Dang, we have a lot of great callers and a lot of people holding. How long before everyone has to go? So before I know how many.
Let's say 2 more callers. Does that work for you guys?
Works for me.
All right, 2 more callers.
Okay.
Sorry to everybody that we're not going to get. I wish we could get everybody, but that's tough.
All right. Well, this person, it's not a number. He's actually a name. This is HMRC Forever. So I don't know what that stands for. What does that stand for, HMRC?
Hi, that stands
America?
for... actually, I'm the internet's biggest Headmaster RC fan.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, I'm somewhat known at BotCon for asking for that figure for several years, and I'm sure if anyone hears this podcast will know who I am. Been a big fan of all y'all for the last several years. Pixel Dan, I used to go to that new toy smell and catch your Saturday morning upload all the time.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Just a really great podcast, y'all. Good start. One thing I wanted to ask y'all is that with the demise, technically, of the DC Classics line, and I have probably about 30 or 40 of the DC Classics figures. I just love the sculpts and everything. One of my big things is, since the not reboot that they had with the new 52, do you think
it's a reboot.
in your do you think one of the problems was that we didn't see enough? I know there's a fine balance between what you can show versus what you can't show, what came up with Damian Wayne. But do you think not knowing what was coming out to a certain degree hurt it? Because the DC Universe is repaint fodder. You know, if you buy blind, you might get how many Batman and how many different outfits and not get, say, Translucent Gentleman Ghost or whatever the case may be. And do you think that was part of the problem? Because that's why, I mean, I saw a few Green Lantern figures shown, but it wasn't worth it to me to buy into the subscription when there's so many repaints that they can just do to cut costs.
I do. I agree. I think that probably is a problem. And I totally understand what CB was saying earlier about how a big company like Mattel, it's hard for them to reveal everything. And this is the same kind of problem people ask about with Masters all the time, too. They want to see the whole lineup. But especially with DC, I mean, it's been around for so long now that it is getting harder for people to invest all the way in a line where they don't know all the figures. Because, like you said, it's to a point now where you never know how many repaints or different versions of the same character that we're going to see. So I bet anything that made a huge difference in why people stopped subscribing to that line.
Because one thing with me is that's why I gave up on the. I was never a big Masters fan. I enjoyed all the sculpt. Well, it's not my thing. Obviously,
you're not alone, man.
It's not for everybody.
I know.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's not. No, it's not for everybody. It's really not for everybody. It's not.
Okay.
Get out of here, Shardamus.
We outrank you.
But you know, I with all the problems with Digital River, I just kind of gave it on. I was buying a few every now and then. I just sort of gave up on the whole thing. But when I saw the Classics Galactic New Adventures He-Man, that has me looking for one because they showed it. I knew it was coming up, and I wanted to get it. Just not enough to fight Digital River on the day it was released. And I just have to say that. But I think that if we saw more DC stuff, you know, they can always say, this is what we have planned. But Mattel to me, is so bad about doing so many repaints. When the DC Universe is so big, there should not be a ton of repaints, but there is.
Yeah. You know, you actually have me thinking, my original... Oh, go ahead.
There's a lot of factors, I think, that go into it, but things that I think people don't take into consideration when we're talking to DC is, well, there's a couple things. First of all, there's a big difference between Masters of the Universe and DC, and that Mattel owns Masters of the Universe.
Yep.
They do not own DC, so they have to pay, I'm sure, is a huge licensing fee to Warner Brothers for that line. So they can sell more a Masters of the Universe figure, and they're going to make more money because they're not paying for that license, basically, to sell it. So DC has a problem, and I'm guessing, but a logical guess is I'm guessing they're having to sell more DC figures to compensate for the extra costs, such as for the license that they have to pay. And the other thing I think people don't really take into consideration is DC. There's two DC lines out there, really. There's the Mattel line, and then there's the DC Collectibles line, and they're not exactly the same and everything. But I'm sure that basically those lines essentially appeal to the same collectors, to the same consumer demographic when it comes to the collectors. Now, I'm not talking about the kids and things like that, but when we're talking about purely collectors, I'm sure both of those lines are competing essentially for the same dollar.
Right.
So you've got a line that's basically splintered between two different companies. You've got Mattel's got to pay a licensing fee, and so I mean I think there's a lot that goes against it. I mean, certainly not revealing everything that's in the year, which I agree. I think, that's a mistake with this whole, if you're going to do a subscription service, I think you should be able to tell people what you're going, essentially asking them to pay up front for. I mean, I totally get a company wanting to have the security of the people subscribing before they go forward with the line to cut their risk. But at the same time, I think they have an obligation to tell those people what exactly, they don't have to show all the figures because obviously they don't have them all made. But I think they should be able to give a list of the figures that you're going to put out that year that you're asking people to subscribe for. So I definitely think that hurts. And then I also think that just the issues that Digital River has had over the years has also hurt Mattel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that also has to do with cost, but it has an effect. But I think start taking all those factors and you kind of look at it and you see that this is probably what ended up killing the line. And I mean, even still, this line has had a very long life. It gave us a lot of figures. Yeah.
My closet is testament to that, considering how many I've got in there. About 30 carded figures right now.
Holy
wow. Wow,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I want to say thanks for the call, guys. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just want to make one really quick point that I guess it may be part of the whole cost and everything, but what you're saying about just the reuse and the repaints and everything, yes, like I do notice, like with the Masters of the Universe Classics line, there are a lot more differences between the characters. I mean, they do essentially use a lot of the same buck over and over again, but there's also a lot more added pieces with different characters that I see more so with the DCUC line, and it looks like you get more for your money just picking up a Masters figure compared to a DCUC figure.
Oh, absolutely.
So just like there's more there, and then they do all this weird fan service, stuff with like, like having like gimmick, like semi gimmick kind of things,
Yeah.
So it's really so that they have a lot of variety where I've never really seen anything from DCUC that really like popped out. It really like I was looking at the what was it, the Grizzlor? Was it Grizzlor?
Yeah.
Am I saying the name right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm foreign here. Okay, yeah, it's like they really went out of they made him out of fur. You know what I mean? They really put hair on that freaking thing. And same thing with Mossman. They really used the, and they gave
blocking,
Yeah, and they gave Stinkor the, the different, So that they really, you can see like there's a lot more effort in there, and it could also be part of like what JC was saying about them having to, not. They're able to put more money into the line itself, I guess.
Because they're not paying for a license for those. Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah.
So they're making cooler figures, and then as opposed to the DCUC figures, I think that's basically fundamentally what it probably comes down to more than anything. Because the DCUC figures were badass enough, maybe it could have lasted. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the licensing cost to DC, it has hurt them a lot for the fact that they can't do the paint apps and articulation. I remember when they used to have the rocker ankles, and then they stopped doing that because of cost. And I was like, why? These things can't stand to save their lives already. It's like, come on, because because I have the most problem. If you ever collect DCUC out there, anyone that's listening, try putting those in detox. They will like fall over like dominoes. But Marvel Legends, for the most part, like whether it's Toy Biz or Hasbro, will stand up, and that has a lot to do with ankle pivot, and that's Charmis Prime made a video about that. The most important point of articulation is ankle pivot. Even Masters Universe Classics have that, and that's one of the things I always loved about Masters Universe Classics.
I like how you say even Masters of the Universe Classics have that.
They do have ankle pivot.
Yeah, what's that supposed to mean?
I know, yeah. Like,
that's
wait for you to chime in, Dan.
That's the downfall of DC is that there's certain, like, I remember I got Larfreeze earlier this year, and he didn't have bicep swivel. I mean, what? Why? Well, that's a common joint because of the new arms. It's like, you can't. It's like the DC Direct one had bicep swivel.
Yeah, and that's a signature series figure too, right?
Yeah, signature series. You don't give us a construct, and it's like, so yeah. I think the licensing fees takes away from getting the added accessories like the master skids and the paint apps and the articulation. And what helps Masters is because a lot of the old toy line was a lot repaints of each other or the same buck, whatever. It's not so far-fetched where it's like with the DC figures, it does seem, it's like, man, we're using the same 4 molds over and over again. And where a lot of these characters weren't like always the same body type. So yeah, remember when Sinestro was like the teen mold? It was like, okay, why is Sinestro so short? He's taller than Hal Jordan in the comics. So so yeah. And then of course the Joe River and everything that didn't help it. So yeah, I agree with what JC and everyone said. I wish they could have just said, okay, here's all our figures for the year, even if they don't have them sculpted yet, whatever. But I guess their logistics can't allow them to do it. So okay.
Well, guys, listen, I appreciate the time, guys. Another bit behind me. The one thing I'll say is, if anyone from Mattel's listening to this podcast, I just want to say that you finally have a toy line that's compatible with Marvel Universe in your show exclusives, and it's not at retail. That is one of the dumbest things I have seen in a long time.
Which line are you talking about?
Wait, Marvel Universe or Legends?
No, he's talking about the DC collectibles, right?
Yeah, they finally have a line with. Yeah, they finally have a line with enough articulation and sculpting quality to go against the smaller Marvel Universe line, and they're only using it for exclusives at shows.
Oh, but just to clarify, that's not Mattel.
Yeah,
that's not Mattel. That's DC Collectibles.
Yeah, DC Collectibles.
I apologize. I did not. I thought that was a Mattel-based product as well. I'm sorry.
And I agree. I wish those weren't just convention exclusives. It'd be cooler if they were easier.
No, trust me, you don't want to buy those.
Yeah, they fall apart easily.
Really? Like, really easily.
Really? Okay.
It's not seriously. I had just gotten one. I had gotten one set. One of the arms was broken on one of the 2 figures. That it was already like that. My friend gave it to me.
Oh wow!
And then when I got it, I broke the other arm on that figure. And then just 2 days ago, I broke the arm on the Kilowog figure that wasn't broken at all in the first place. So I got 3 broken arms out of 4.
I thought it was bad enough with DC Direct when the Green Lanterns couldn't even hold their own lanterns because they both had closed fists.
Oh yeah, that's silly too. That always bugs me.
Yeah,
like you give them an accessory and they can't even hold it.
Interchangeable hands.
Yeah.
Interchangeable hands. Even Elastic Man, or Elongated Man had that. That was What the hell? I mean, yeah. So anyway. We're going to get all heated if we keep going about this further.
Yeah.
So,
guys, I appreciate it. Thank you much, and y'all have a good one.
All right, have a good night, man. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right. Well, this is a toughie because there's 3 people that have been holding for 40 minutes, and we can only have time, I guess, for one more call. I wish you guys were at the soundboard, so I don't know which one to choose. They're all like evenly matched. Like they all.
Meeny, miny, mo.
Yep, just do it. Just pick one. We'll have other podcasts. We can do more calls.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. 646. We'll take you. You're our final caller. 646. What's your name and question?
I love closing out your guys' channels.
Oh, what's up?
Say what?
Channels out. This is Abe.
Hey, Abe, what's up, Abe?
Oh, hey, how's it going, man?
Not much, brothers. How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Doing good, man. Abe Devil's Due on YouTube.
He's a great guy and like a frequent caller on Toy Talk. Great to have you on here, man. What's up? What's your question?
I'm a pain in the butt too. I know.
Yeah.
Now, I'm actually, you guys hit the nail on my question earlier about the Tiger Sharks and the Silver Hawks and the Thundercats, with the Four Horsemen. You hit that. But how about, let's not forget Visionaries, please. The cartoon
Visionaries. Yes. Oh, hell yeah. Oh,
I would love to see you guys bring back Visionaries, man. I was watching the cartoons today. I was watching Silver Hawks and Visionaries. I was like, damn, what I would give my lower part of my body, bro, just to get you.
I thought you were gonna say your left nut, but yeah, that's what I was saying. My left nut for some Visionaries.
My legs, whatever you need, me, I need these toys.
Oh, man. So crazy, man. So crazy.
Yeah, they're great at sculpting animals. I wonder if they would do something cool where they could have like the holographic animal figure next to it or something.
Oh, that would be cool.
Wouldn't that be sick as hell? Like, oh god.
Yeah.
I would lose it.
Like, where does that rank at? Does that also fill into your dream job? Like you want to do the Visionaries on top of the Tiger Sharks and all that?
Wait, wait, ask that again? I didn't really catch it.
No, this question was for the, I think, JC.
Oh, Cornboy. You're asking, no, Cornboy's not on the line anymore.
Yeah, I got that.
All right, buddy. Sorry.
Would you write that in?
Oh. Yeah, but that's a good question for him, though. I think, actually, if you could pass that question along, that would be awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude. I can do that.
Sick.
Abe, since Cornboy isn't on anymore, do you have a question for us that you want to ask? We have time for.
I didn't even know. I've been on hold this whole time. I didn't even know he left home. Well, let's see.
I'll whip something up.
I know even though we have 4 people here, none of us are the 4 Horsemen, so I apologize. We're the 4 Horsemen of the Toy Apocalypse. That's what we are.
Yeah, that's definitely on. You guys definitely on. Let's see. Trying to get on this.
4 collectors of the Toy Apocalypse.
Yeah. That's what you should rename the show, actually.
Oh no! We're sticking with this name. It's like too much trouble. We got a YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff. We got. We have YouTube, right? I subscribe to the YouTube. Dan.
Every month we should just give it a new name.
Oh God!
That's find us this time.
It will all change our names. I'll be Sam, and Charmis will be.
Jeff. I want to be Jeff. I always just thought I would make a good Jeff.
Sam will be
Jorge.
Hey, that's not good.
I was gonna say Van, like Van Wilder, Pixel Van Wilder. And so, no.
JC can be William.
Such random names.
Perfect.
All right, so my question is, because I'm starting to see that we all also watch cartoons.
Yeah, of course.
Other than like, what other 80s cartoons would you mind seeing reborn or given another shot today?
Thundercats.
Yeah, Thundercats for a third time.
What kind of a twist would you put to it?
Season 3 or 2, I guess, of Thundercats was I really love that show, and I'm sad it went. Cartoon Network always cancels the good shows. 2000X He-Man, Transformers Animated, Young Justice,
He-Man.
They cancel every good show. So second season of Thundercats, even Voltron Force, I would like that. I think Mattel never even made those figures. We saw them at Comic-Con.
Yeah, they had no retail support for them.
Yeah, and
that was the problem. Yeah, and I think it's because that show, it only made it that first season and then it stopped. So retail had no interest.
And that show hasn't even come out on DVD. We gotta talk to the Voltron people about that. It's like, It's like, thank God it's on Netflix, otherwise you never even get watch that show. It's like, dang. Man, I would love that too. Especially I love the whole, like, each of the lions could have been like, you know,
they all
the
just
center
different
lion.
heads. Yeah, they all changed heads. I thought that was fun too. That was a really cool little revamp.
That could have been a cool gimmick too, and it was pretty good. It wasn't like the best, you know, of all the newer cartoons during that time.
Yeah, I mean, it was no Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles is still the best. That is
Oh man,
it's so good.
I love that cartoon so much. I want to see another. I really liked Wolverine and the X-Men.
Oh
I'm
man,
really
so good.
sad that. Yeah, I love that show.
I thought there was another season coming.
Oh, what's up?
There is? I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought there was another season because the last episode they showed Age of Apocalypse.
No, that was the finale, man.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, Steve Bloom said they would have done the Age of Apocalypse season, but yeah, that was canceled after, or it didn't make out. It wasn't renewed, I guess. So sad because Steve and everyone on that show, Nolan North, who I'm going to see this weekend at Sac Anime, man, they love that show, man. They like, it's so sad it you know, man, now I'm like getting sad of all these canceled TV shows, Thundercats. It's like, damn, you Cartoon Network. And well, Wolverine and X-Men, what channel was it? Was it on? I can't even remember what channel it was on. Was that?
It was on Disney, wasn't it?
No, it was on something. I can't remember. It was on. I remember it was really hard to watch at times because it's like they always alternated a different.
But are you talking about Wolverine and the X-Men?
Yeah, what channel was on?
I thought that was on Cartoon Network.
No, it wasn't Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
No, I think
wait.
TV.
Oh, was it Disney XD?
Yeah, I think it was the Disney XD. I think it was.
I will check on that while we answer this question. But also, I would love a new He-Man show or 2000X He-Man to another third season. I really love them. That show is one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, I love the Filmation He-Man, but that show made everything about what was cheesy about the Filmation He-Man go away. I mean, it's so cool and stylized, and the action He-Man going through a Cyclops eye. It's like you didn't see that ever on the original show. It was like,
oh, spoilers, dude. Jeez.
Oh well, that happened like early on, man. That happened like it happened in like the first like 3 episodes, man.
Oh, okay, then I probably
missed that part, man. I don't know. There's so many shows I want to bring back. Oh, one thing I won't mention that. I mean, I haven't mentioned Dino Riders. I would love Dino Riders to restart.
Oh, what? Yeah.
I love Dino Riders. That was one of my 80s things. I haven't bought I had all the toys, but I haven't rebought them because I know I have
they're
so
so expensive, dude.
Yeah, they're
really
expensive.
They're crazy expensive.
Yeah,
I'd love to see Battle of the Planets come back.
Battle of the Planets?
Yeah.
That's another one. I never really watched that one, but
that was a great show.
Battle of the Planets.
That's probably before most of your guys' time.
But... you got a whole lot of dead air coming out of that one. I was like,
Nickelodeon was Wolverine the X-Men.
Really?
Well, the first cartoon, the first thing I ever remember seeing that I thought was truly badass was Turbo Teen.
Oh,
nice. That was the very first thing I ever remember seeing that I can actually remember was Turbo Teen.
Well, Battle of the Planets was a remake of Gatchaman from Japan. So.
Oh, okay. So that had already come out before. All right.
And we're talking about in the 70s. So.
Oh, all right. Oh, wow. So I actually never knew that. But yeah, Turbo Teen. He was a kid that mutated into a car at will.
I remember that.
and it was really freaky because like his face turned into the grill of the car. It was so gross. I just thought that would be so funny to see like a CGI modernized version of that show. It'd be so nasty.
Oh God, man! Oh, God.
Can you imagine that?
Oh God, no, I don't want to.
It'd be terrible.
I don't want to. Why do you put these images in my head? Why?
It used to freak me out when I was a little kid. It's like his face, like his mouth became the grill and his eyes became the headlights.
I know. I always thought that was so weird. Great. Now I'm gonna go watch 2000X He-Man and get my mind off this, or Wolverine X-Men or something. It's like all these great shows. Now I want to just. After this podcast, just like go watch all my DVDs or Netflix or something. Oh, I'm like, you know,
I gotta start watching the Ninja Turtles, man. I gotta admit, I haven't.
Why haven't you watched it? It's like the best show ever.
Yeah, that's like the best show on right now.
It is. Yeah. Like Nickelodeon has the best cartoons right now.
Yeah.
All right. I'll catch up.
they have this thing going on too, where it's really made, the kids love it, and it's really made for adults too. I was just like rewatching the cockroach episode, and you see the cockroaches spying in on the Krangs, and the Krangs are, you know, they're brains that are inside these robot bodies, right? And the cockroach is walking by, and one Krang robot says to the other Krang robot, Krang has been on for 1 week, gluten-free diet, in 1 week, lose 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, what the hell? Like, these things are talking about going on gluten-free diets and stuff like that. It's just, it's so ridiculous. It's a brain in a robot body talking about a gluten-free diet and how he lost 10 pounds. Just little stuff like that. I don't know. It just makes the show for me. I absolutely love it.
Oh, I know, that finale was epic. I loved it. And
I haven't seen the finale yet, so don't.
Yeah, neither have I. Yeah,
It's so good though.
Don't say anything about it, Sean.
What is? You haven't seen the finale? You said you would watch.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually, I still have a few episodes I need to catch up on, but please don't say anything about it because you give these what you call non-spoilers, which are very much spoilers.
Oh, jeez.
Do this to me all the time.
Dan, you've seen it, right? The finale?
I have, yeah.
Okay,
awesome.
At least half of us here have. I won't say about the finale, but one thing that's a preview, and you saw this at Comic-Con, so I hope this is not a spoiler for you. The one thing I cannot wait to see that episode. He has butt cannons.
Oh yeah,
I did see that commercial.
So much. I'm like, that's the stuff I love about the show. And Rob Paulson freaking out PowerCon. Oh, it's gonna be the greatest thing ever.
Was that Casey Jones in the commercial?
Yes,
yeah,
Casey Jones. Yeah. Oh my God, I could literally do a whole Ninja Turtles podcast just talking about everything I love about the show. Seriously, like the show and the boys. I'm gonna get I know like Dan and Sharmus have the Rat Kings and Cockroach Terminator. I'm getting mine in the mail here soon, but I'm actually very excited just to put them on my playsets, even though I know the figures aren't that articulated. But I got
rid of those. I don't have them anymore.
I just saw that episode with the Neutralizer today. I can't wait for that figure.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Neutralizer was.
You saw that, Sharmus, right? You saw the Neutralizer episode, right?
The Neutralizer.
Yeah,
like Big Newt.
The Big Newt. That's like Donnie named him, and like they saved. April's dad in that episode.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh God, where have you been, man? It's like I'm gonna send you the episodes, man. When you come up here, man, we're watching those episodes, man.
Yeah, I'm watching it on Hulu. I watched like 3 episodes last night. I'm catching up.
I'm gonna revoke your Ninja Turtle card till you watch those episodes, man.
Okay. All right. I love the show. It's just that I just went through a long break. I thought I thought they had taken a break for a while, and then the episodes started airing again, and I didn't know about it. So I have a huge gap that I need to catch up.
I text you all the time about. It's like Ninja Turtles are back. Ninja Turtles are back. It's like I'm just giving you a hard time, man. We really, in other words.
Well, it hurts my feelings, Sean. You better get that card back.
We really love the show here. We're the biggest Ninja Turtle supporters of. We just love the show. It's like really nothing else is on as good as that show. Maybe Legend of Korra, but that's also a Nickelodeon show, which I love too. So, yeah, you guys watch Legend of Korra here? Anyone else besides me?
No, oh yeah, I do.
It's so good, so good. Can't wait for book 2. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's the Avatar, the Airbender. You know.
Yeah, it takes place next generation of the Avatar. It's after Aang has been passed away and everything. Spoiler alert. If you didn't know this by now, then it's okay. Well,
Aang's dead.
Yeah.
No! Yeah.
Was it Ung? Should we go by the M. Night Shyamalan? Isn't he Ung? No. No, we're not going by that. Oh, God. We can make a whole podcast about that movie, but no, we won't. Anyway. Oh, God. Sorry, we went off track here. We were just having fun now. So
yeah, we're just talking about Ben Affleck being Batman.
Oh God!
Oh no! Don't bring that up.
It's so good. I got that out of my system yesterday, and then Charlotte just has to bring it up. It's really, man, try to bring out the Hulk Sean here, man. Come on. It's it's not even about him being cast as it. It's the people reacting to it. But let's not talk about it.
Ben Affleck was a Bombing fan.
Yes, the Bombing fan. I actually watched.
I've never seen that movie.
The Jane Silent Bob or Phantoms or Jane.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, dude, he is the bomb in that.
Well, Ben Affleck thinks he's the bomb in Phantoms, but.
Did you watch Phantoms?
That was a Jay quote.
Yeah. No. Ben said that in the movie.
He agreed. He agreed with Holden. By the way, I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. So it
was in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Give you guys a little insight on this podcast. I'll be at Sakami this weekend, dressed as Batman, saying nothing but Ben Affleck quotes all weekend. So yeah,
do it.
I'll be a Batfleck. Like, applesauce, bitch.
So if you're not on for the next episode, we'll know what happened to you.
Yeah. See news reports.
Oh, God.
It's going to be me.
Boys.
Oh, no. There's so many great Ben Affleck quotes. I was watching Good Will Hunting and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back last night. I watched them back to back. I was in a Ben Affleck mood for some reason. I don't know.
Dude, wow, man.
Getting a bunch of angry hate mail right now as you're saying this.
No, dude, both good movies. Great comedy. Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, one of my favorite comedies.
I love Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
And in Good Will Hunting, seriously, won so many Oscars. Ben Affleck won the Oscar for writing that movie. His scene where he's like telling them, like, I hope that you're not at my door, like, and you just won't be there. No goodbye, see you later, no nothing. That always gets to me, man. So if you guys say you can't act, what are you guys saying?
Well, I mean, the argument is that he is Ben Affleck in all the movies that he's in. Like Ben Affleck plays a very good, consistent Ben Affleck.
I don't know. You gotta watch The Town, Sharmus. You gotta watch The Town. That's
I like Daredevil.
But don't watch The Sum of All Fears.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a terrible movie, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh yeah. And, I'm not saying Ben Affleck doesn't have his bad movies, but he has his good movies too. So it's just like everyone has it. Halle Berry was the Oscar winner. She did Catwoman, man. Come on.
Wait, Dan. When you say you liked Daredevil, you mean you liked Daredevil like how I liked Daredevil, where it was just really fun to laugh at for an hour and a half?
I thought it was pretty good. I especially like the director's cut.
Me too.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
I feel like the director's cut is overrated. It was just a longer, crappy movie.
No, man. You're overrated. Get out of here.
Oh, God. Damn it. You guys want to hear a man cry on a podcast?
Wow. See, this is why we avoided the Ben Affleck discussion, because we knew we would turn on each other by the end of the episode.
Hey, Daredevil is better than Fantastic Four.
Oh,
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, exactly. I like Daredevil better than Fantastic Four.
Nope, because we got Jessica Alba, and that makes up for a lot.
That's a good point.
Dude,
Jennifer Garner was hot as
we had Jennifer Garner in Daredevil.
Jennifer, that girl, she looks like a horse.
Wait, what?
Oh, goodness.
Wait, who? Jennifer Garner?
What?
Oh,
what are you saying, man? You see her Elias, man? Holy crap. And that was the J.J. Abrams show, man. Come on.
Oh, no. I don't find her to be a very attractive woman.
Oh, dude, she's way more hotter than J-Lo, I think. He upgraded, man. He upgraded.
But compared to Jessica Alba, come on now. There's no comparison.
Jessica Alba, too. I don't think she was a good Sue Storm at all. She was just eye candy, all those movies.
That's what I'm saying. Is a nude Jessica Alba, dude. That makes up for a lot.
Wait. What? Did you say what I think you said?
I said butt naked Jessica Alba, Fantastic Four, yeah.
Oh yeah, that
she was invisible.
Powers, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no. All right, well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place. Naked Jessica Alba into the podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we all go our separate ways into a lonely place thinking of naked Jessica Alba.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, Abe, thank you so much for calling in, man. Hopefully you'll call us on our next Collector Connection and, our other podcasts that we do throughout. So thank you so much for calling me, Abe.
You guys already know, man. I'm here.
Take care, bro.
Later, guys.
Later.
All right. Thanks for calling, man.
All right.
We got way off topic with that.
Oh, my God. See, This is why we do not talk about Affleck on this show ever again. Not until at least we see a trailer or something. Okay. All right.
Well, I had fun. This was a pretty great first podcast, I think, right?
This was super fun, man. I wish we were doing this every week, but, I understand. I would do this every day. No, I'm just kidding.
Every day. Whoa.
Yeah. I want to be Kevin Smith. I do podcasts every day, man. He pretty much does. Like,
that's his job.
Yeah, but Kevin Smith's funny. We're not.
Yeah.
I try to. At least try to add some humor. Yeah, that's it.
Kevin Smith's a professional talker. Like
He
that's
is. Oh my
all
god.
he does, yeah.
It's funny, after Chasing Amy, I watched like his Going to Hell, Kevin Smith's Going to Hell thing. I was watching a lot of things on Netflix last night. I couldn't sleep. Not up to 3 p.m. So yeah, I was up watching Smith and anyway, so what's the tagline, or how do we end this? This is our first time.
We should probably tell people that our next show is going to be at PowerCon. So
yes,
that's right. Yep.
And Dan, what are those dates again?
The dates are September 14th and 15th. And if you want to get more information on the show, you can head over to thepower-con.com. Tickets are still available. It's going to be an amazing show, and myself and Sean and Shartimus will all be there. And we will definitely be getting together to record a live show from the event at some point. So we'll get more details on when the recording is going to be as we get a little closer to the show.
It'd be cool.
And hopefully we'll have a couple of good guests on there too. So.
Oh
yep,
my god!
That's the plan.
Well, Larry Kenny loves me, so like he says I can be his grandson. So like maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have my microphone. I'll have my microphone with me that doesn't work.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I'll bring my mic. You can just put like the whatever on it, like, whatever you want to, Shartimus or Toy News Eye, whatever you want to put on there.
That's what we need to do now. Let's tell everybody where they should go to check all of us out, right? Because
yeah.
I assume everybody that's listening probably already knows, but just in case,
yep.
Where can we find out about Sean Long?
Oh, well, you guys can check me out on youtube.com/Sean X Long. Same with my Facebook and Twitter if you want to follow me there. And, of course, besides the great websites like with Toy News Eye and, Jedi Insider, Marvelous News, check out bkbn.net. I'm on there a lot, too. So that's me. Thank you.
Awesome. Shartimus?
And, and then you can find my YouTube videos on youtube.com/ Instagram / Shartimus Prime. And then got my videos up on YouTube, Marvelous News, bkbn.net, Facebook, and check out my Instagram. It's a lot of fun. I take really cool pictures. I think I take really good pictures.
You do.
Anyway,
I'll vouch for you. Yes, he does. He takes
right on
Instagram.
That's
I like him every time.
Instagram. Is it him?
Thank you.
Awesome. And of course you can
where
find
do we find
Where do you find me?
Where do we find Pixel Dan? Yeah.
You can find me at youtube.com/Mandalorian30 or just search for Pixel Dan. That's way easier than remembering that name. So search for Pixel Dan, or you can find me at pixel-dan.com, which is where I also post all of my videos and a bunch of other goodies, and I'm on Twitter at Pixel Dan. So check me out, man. Follow me. And then, of course, we can't forget the best toy news site on the internet.
Yes.
The whole internet's toynewseye.com.
You can't actually find me, but you can find a lot of toy news there, so toynewseye.com. So.
There you go.
All the million networks on there, like News Jedi Insider.
The million networks. Yeah, he's got a million sites.
Seriously, forget, we're not the big, BKBN is not the big network. It's the whole entertainment news network. It's like the, holy crap, so many sites. And if you want to know anything about everything, entertainment news, toy news, everything, join. They're the big network.
Tformers.com.
Tformers. I can forget Tformers. Holy crap, man.
Yep. Tformers, Marvelous News, Jedi Insider. It's all awesome. So definitely be checking that out every day.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I think that's it, guys. I think it's a good wrap-up for our inaugural episode. So.
Oh, we should also mention for the Collector Connection to check us out specifically on Facebook as well, because we have a Facebook page there. So leave your input there and let us know if you like the show.
It's just facebook.com/Collector Connection, right?
Yep. I think so. Or just search the Collector Connection. It should come up.
Awesome. And we are also going to be on YouTube, right, Sean? This podcast is going to upload to YouTube?
Yeah, definitely. We're also on YouTube. I believe it's just Collector Connection also, right? Yeah, because I subscribe to it. I know that, JC, you made the YouTube channel, so thank you for doing that. Our first promo is on there. And I want to first give a shout out to Shartimus Prime for writing the script for that and just coming up with something hilarious. I mean, we all added our own, nuances to it, but Shartimus, put that together, so thank you so much.
Yeah, mad props, dude. That was fun.
That was great.
That was hilarious.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Thanks, John 3.0, for doing the voice for the intro to our Collector Connection, too. We had John 3.0 on the intros right over there.
Yeah.
So that was John 3.0. Yeah,
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, he's the Optimus Prime guy.
Sweet.
Oh, I know. I just want to make sure.
So I think we got all our bases covered, right?
I think that's it, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
This is the time where we say goodbye to everybody, and we'll see you guys somewhere down the road. Until next time, as I always say.
Oh yeah, remember, celebrate your nerdom in a big way.
Until we connect again.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Until we connect again.
Until we connect.
I like that. Okay, we're
like
gonna use that. That's gonna be our tagline. Until we connect again.
Later.
I'll be right here. I was trying to do it. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Till we connect again. Bye.